The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions.
Panther fans unite! My name's Tony Dunn. Cody Lashney, how you doing? TK's in the house. How you doing, my friend? The Stat Daddy.
But I think Derek Brown, hey man, he deserves that dab on him pick.
Dab on him, Phil Snow. Dab on him.
All the same, yeah, 100%. We can just
Mine is going to go to the fullback. I'm going to dump on the Richie guy. Dab on him, Shaq.
I'm going to put the towel on Matt Rule.
Y'all took all the good ones.
Only one postgame roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers postgame show.
Thank God for Jesus, Christmas, Santa Claus, and the propagation of hope and happiness, because if it was up to the Carolina Panthers to promote and propagate that idea, we would all be telling the kids the realities of life. Man, the Carolina Panthers got hit, or our fan base got hit with a big dose of reality as the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the living snot out of the Panthers in what was arguably the most boring game ever. You got beat down by nobody. Nobody. Not even anybody played. It did anything good. The Panthers, the bank got robbed. It was an inside job, Cody. Keith Taylor was working on the inside. Man, the Panthers done, toasted, fall to the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-16. And what was really a heartbreaker for fans who had just been generating some excitement, Cody.
Everything that we had been doing well over the past few weeks to build momentum, the Panthers backslid and did the opposite today. There was no controlling of the line of scrimmage on offense or defense. We were not running the ball effectively on offense at all. And then our defensive line just absolutely got pushed around on their home turf. They got brutalized at the line of scrimmage in the defensive backfield. And, man, we have to call some people to the front of the congregation, man. Keith Taylor, oh, dude, cut him yesterday. I don't even care, dude. If you're going to cut Bené Ben-Wickery after what Julio Jones did to him all those years ago, then, dude, Keith Taylor needs off this team, man. That was absolutely abysmal. The zone coverages was abysmal. And, we were supposed to protect the bank. That's what Steve Wilkes was saying. And today, not only did we fail to protect the bank, dude, they straight up robbed us. And we're going to be in need of that post-game therapy session, us included. But we're going to do it with the best damn Panther fans in all of YouTube. We got Alex Pro, Bro Man, Cody C13, KG73. Of course, G-Baby's in the chat room. He's ready to talk all his shit. London Panther, KG73s, Tizzy Smith, Underground West, Twan Don, and Ross Gold. Tony Don, ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
Look, guys, the Panthers, I don't know. Is that, it's kind of weird about when it comes to Keith Taylor, because look, if you look at anything that the team, their stats on the other team, Najee Harris had 86 yards rushing. Deontay Johnson had 10 catches, but he still didn't even have over 100 yards. Right. Even Mitch Trubisky only had 179 yards passing. We were talking about this before we started, Greg, and although that this was just a one-score game at the end of the day, it felt like the Panthers from the very get-go were fighting to stay in the game at all, despite the scoreboard.
Right.
They just kind of were playing for. I mean, I know it was only 7 points or 8 points or whatever it is, but it felt like that was like Mount Everest at some points.
Yeah, we were talking during the game. It looked easy for Pittsburgh and really hard for us. We were keeping up, but it looked like Pittsburgh was just having an easy time going out there and doing it. And for us, it was really hard to keep up. There was no point in this game where I felt like I kept cheering, like, yeah, here we go, we're going to come back. But like realistically, there was no signals in this game that we were going to come back. We were just getting our asses beat the whole game. This is a game where the score doesn't necessarily show how the game went because we got stomped the whole game on all three levels, and just ended up in a loss.
Cody, it really felt like they beat us the way that we try to beat teams.
Yeah, but can I say there is hope? Atlanta lost today. If Tampa Bay loses today, we're in the exact same position at the end of the day that we started in. We're 1 game back with 3 games left against 2 teams we've already beat, and we have the tiebreaker in the whole league in the NFC South. So we're still in the same position as long as Tampa Bay loses. That's the only silver lining to this loss.
CK, they got our number at Pittsburgh. It feels like every time.
Well, dude, it's absolutely unreal, ungodly how easy it felt like they had it to run against our vaunted defense, right? Yeah. It just didn't. Nothing makes sense. The world is a lie, as we know it. Listen, I mean, it is what it is. Life goes on. To be quite honest with you, the best player on our team was Sam Darnold today, and that's not like saying that he was a great player. It was just he was the best player on the field today, and it's hard to argue that fact. And it shouldn't be the case with a defense like ours and a run game like we're supposed to be vaunting. Our offensive line couldn't stop a nosebleed today. They couldn't get pressure up front to get any of the run game going. It was just a god awful display of football on most of the phases that you could ask for good football on. So,
all right, the number's 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. We want to hear your thoughts on the game. Were the black on black with the silver hats the jinx of the day, or was it Nick Montero? Was he the jinx of the day? There's got to be some reason the Carolina Panthers have lost.
Poor Nick.
So, like, I mean, there's something wrong in the water there. We want to hear your thoughts on how the Panthers kind of rebound from this. Are they still in this, or was this the gut punch that the Bengals game felt like at the time? I mean, and can we rebound? The number's 252-228-5098. Smash the thumbs up button. Be a part of the conversation. Let's start with this, guys. The offensive, Cody, you began with first. I thought we all had good points we just made in our little opening. Like everybody, I like Greg's. They made it look easy. Everything they did easy, we made look hard. Cody, you started out with a good one too, which was everything that we have done well in the past couple of weeks leading up to our excitement that's generated our excitement. We did poorly today, and I want to start with the offensive line. I know the easy picking is going to be Taylor Moton. People are going to point out that TJ Watt got around him on that and blasted Sam on a couple, some different things. But this game, this offensive line, we weren't unable to run the ball in the slightest. In fact, we gave up. I wouldn't even say we gave up on the running of a game. It was just like nothing worked at all. And they got after Sam. There was 4 sacks today. What happened to this offensive line that just days ago we were called the best that the Panthers ever had?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. I don't know what it is about the Panthers. Every time
3-4 defense, dude, it fucking kills us, man.
But also, look, someone in the chat room just said it. I should have left it on it. Right here, Zdenko says size matters. Their linemen were just bigger than ours, both their O-line and D-line. Like I said last week, stop the run. Without a diverse offense, we're beautiful. But, I mean, look, it's not like the game plan was necessarily horrible, but we were just beaten. We were the older brother came to town, and they put it on us. They were bigger. They were stronger. They were more physical. Their offensive line was just leaning on us and moving for 6 yards at a whim. It was absolutely embarrassing. And it's to the point that, look, we've all been very, very, very quick to praise Steve Wilkes, and I think rightfully so. I'm not off of my endorsement, but dude, when you've been pumping up the fan base and saying, "Hey, we got to protect the bank. We have to come out and really put out a great performance," the fact that your defense comes out so damn soft, like toilet paper, that is absolutely unacceptable. We were bullied on all phases of the game, and I don't know how you let that happen. The first drive on their offense, it was apparent how this game was going to go. We had no answer for anything that they wanted to do. We played that sorry ass soft zone coverage, and we let guys like Najee Harris and Pickens and Deontay Johnson just go to town on us on big time third down moments when we needed to get off the field. It was absolutely bullshit. But the one thing I do want to say, and I want to get out ahead of this, I'm proud of Sam Darnold. Dude, I don't care what anybody says. I'm not saying that Sam was perfect, but dude, Sam has done nothing but get better and better as he's been under center. He navigated the pressure well. He even evaded some big time would be sacks that would have been very, very costly for his football team. There was some fantastic throws made by Sam Darnold today, and some great catches by DJ Moore and Terrace Marshall. But the lack of run game and the inability to stop the run, it just absolutely took all the momentum away from this Panthers team. Completely.
The big brother beating up the little brother. Even we were debating on Debate My Take earlier this week if the Panthers should trade for Mike Tomlin. And my immediate response was no, we've got Wilkes and you don't need to give up assets. But even Mike Tomlin, like, it felt like he beat up Steve Wilkes today. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody beat us up. And when I say beat up on Steve Wilkes, they had a 21 play drive, CK. These guys won in the way that Wilkes has preached that we're supposed to win, in the trenches. And 21 plays, we're sitting here, Cody, CK, Cody is going off about how he wants to get out ahead of Sam Darnold. I told you guys last week, if a guy throws 225 yards on this for this team, he's going to look awesome. And that's all he did today. He looked, you know what I'm saying? Like 225 yards. We just got beat up, man.
And I want to push back real quick on, I'm not disagreeing with you, Cody. We mentioned this before the show. I don't think that Sam Darnold had a bad game, but at the same time, we need a quarterback that in this position can win the game for us. Like, I'm not saying that Sam Darnold is not the guy that he can't, but Sam Darnold had plenty of opportunities in this game to bring us back. He didn't do it. He played well. We had 2 or 3 drives where they went 3 and out, or they went out when he could have came back and we were down 1 or 2 possessions.
How is that all on
8 or 11
Sam
points?
I'm not saying it's all on Sam. Where Sam fucking
I'm not saying it's all on Sam. I'm just saying, look, man, I'm sitting here giving Trevor Lawrence praise the whole day. I feel like you put Trevor Lawrence in that position, he probably wins those games. And that's me saying this.
I don't.
He had 3 or 4 chances to have a game-tying or winning drive in this game. He didn't do it.
We punted the ball every time in the second quarter.
Right. Yeah.
That was the second quarter really killed us in this. We got the ball back. We pinned them deep. We got the ball back, I think. What was it? Oh, we had to start on the 20. But we got the ball back several times to in the second quarter to kind of end things or kind of get back in the game. 4 plays, -9 yards, 4 plays, 8 yards. And then we went into the half, and then they come out in the third quarter and they have a drive that lasted the entire quarter.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm getting chewed up.
So that's not on Sam. That's not on Sam. The third, but the second quarter was this. The second quarter was the time that he was given the opportunity to play a little bit better. And that's when we needed Sam to play better, was in the second quarter. But I do think you're right, is that overall he's played better than anybody else we've had.
Agreed. Yeah, that's what I said. I don't want to talk shit about or make it seem like I hate the guy. I'm just saying there were 3 or 4 drives that could have changed this game today. And maybe it's not, I'm not saying it's all his fault, but I feel like maybe better quarterbacks might have made a difference in this game. I don't know though. You know,
I don't know.
I just
I
don't.
think in the
And how
second
about
quarter
Ben
he missed
McAdoo?
like 3 passes.
And
You
look,
know,
I feel
Yeah.
like I've kind of been a defender of Ben McAdoo. Today, oh, dude, Ben McAdoo needs a paddling, dude. You're on 3rd and 8, you're by your goal line, and you call a quarterback draw on 3rd and 8? What in the fuck are you doing, dude? How dumb is that? You have had success passing the football on 3rd down, and you want to run a quarterback draw? Dude, that was the dumbest shit in the world. And it's like whenever we have to come from behind, one aspect of our team will completely fail us. So if the offense is playing good, dude, the defense disappears forever. If the defense is playing bad, then Ben McAdoo will call some of these bullshit play calls to put our offense even further behind the line.
where
Dude,
was that
it's
drive? When was
absolutely
that drive? I'm
embarrassing,
looking for that
dude.
drive where he called it on 3rd and 9.
It's completely embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And by the way, I see G Baby in the chat room talking about CJ. CJ was hurt. Why do you think Keith Taylor was out there so much? CJ wasn't even out there on the fucking field. So it's like, what are we talking about, man?
and CJ still ain't shown me enough to make me seem like to bring back what I've said about him. So far, he's played like trash. He's had a few good plays. Let's see CJ
Yeah, he
play
lo-
better. He wasn't even
G
there today.
Baby
Though,
loves the
so.
hurt corners. He loves
Yeah.
Dante and CJ, the ones that are hurt that aren't even playing. But dude, listen, our linebacking core is soft. I thought Jeremy Chin played soft today, taking terrible angles to the football. Like that first offensive drive they had, dude, Najee Harris had all the time in the world because JC Chin wouldn't just run on him and make the tackle. Luke Kuechly would have never done that, dude. It's honestly embarrassing how soft this defense played, knowing that you have the Pittsburgh Steelers coming into town. We're 1-7 now against Pittsburgh. That's absolute bullshit, man.
Do you think that draw play for Darnold up the middle? I know that you don't like the call, but you're at the Pittsburgh 10. It's 3rd and 8. Do you think that you are thinking 4 downs there? So like if we can get to 4th and 3, you know, and then go for it. But the fact that he lost, that it was a negative yard, puts you out of the situation to be able to go for it on 4th down.
I mean, I still say throw the ball. Even if that's your mindset, throw the damn football. Don't run it with Sam Darnold unless they're playing just 100% man coverage and there's a hole down the middle. Then let Sam run. But other than that, we were.
I don't
we
know.
were
I don't think I
successful.
hate. I think I just hate it because it doesn't work. Because if you are in a throw the down position, that QB draw
Oh, it's the dumbest
sometimes
shit in the world.
smokes
But you're
people,
having
bro.
success.
Justin Fields ran a 46-yard QB draw today, like for a touchdown, because everybody thought he was passing it.
Yeah, but I mean, still,
Are
you're
you putting
at third- you're
Justin
at
Fields on the
third-
same level as Sam Darnold?
Well, Sam Darnold got some wheels.
Like, he does, but are you putting him on the same level? Is all I'm
No, I
saying.
just feel like this
Yeah.
is. I mean, I know that it sucks because it didn't work, but if it
Hey, by
gets,
the way, no, I didn't mean to interrupt. I
No,
was just
that's
going to say, we got a super chat. Eric 37 with the $5 says offensive line can't do good against elite front sevens. But that's the thing. Are they elite, or did we just come out there and embarrass ourselves today? Like running
yeah,
the
I think
football.
it's more the latter, to be honest. It's
Yeah.
the 3-4 defense. This just drives this team nuts. We have never been able to overcome it. The
But
Pittsburgh
why?
Steelers, there's something about it. We can't look. The 3-4 defense is a jinx to us, just like Nick Montero is, and just like those stupid black on black with the silver hats. Why didn't they wear the black hat? Why did they not wear
need
the
to change
black
the
hat?
black hat to gloss black instead of flat black. The flat black.
I think
doesn't
you're
look
only
that
allowed
right.
to wear it once a year. And by the way, real
No
quick,
way.
the $5 love bomb Panther Guy 73 says, "Happy birthday, Noel! Happy birthday, Noel!"
Nice. Happy birthday. And too bad the Panthers couldn't have given you a gift. But what I say is like this is that the jinx for the 3-4 is not only do we have trouble defending it, every time we've tried to switch to it as a defense, we stink at it too. like the 3-4, like we don't even understand it as a Carolina, as the organization, so much that we get beat up by it, and then we try to adopt it, and we can't do it as good as other teams. It's been terrible. It's been a thorn in my side, like those hats, those silver hats, the black on black, ruin it for everybody. The number's 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. One of the questions asked by the chat, and I'm going to give it to you guys because you guys are the only idiots that have been saying this. Deontay Foreman still better than Christian McCaffrey is just a rusher as he gets arm tackled on 4th and 1.
Nobody. It doesn't matter who the running back was. Nobody was rushing all this.
This was
Christian
horrendous.
McCaffrey would have come out of here with 100 yards.
I've seen Christian
no,
McCaffrey get
Tony,
stuffed to the goal line. You're trying to take
cannot be
one game.
that vapid, dude.
Sure,
You're trying to take one game to prove your point. So let me ask you: if Deontay Foreman rushes for 178 yards next game, are you going to come with the same vigor?
Yes,
with the same argument.
You know what? Do you know what his final stat line was?
Terrible.
How many?
He played horrible today. I've seen
Christian
McCaffrey
play
horrible.
I got to just make sure it didn't change it last second. Yeah, it did not change. Deontay Foreman with a whopping 10 carries for 9 yards. He had less than 1 yard to carry.
You know what? That's 9 more yards than Christian McCaffrey had while he was injured for 2.5 seasons. So,
I think this is really, I think the story is, I know you guys want to put it on Keith Taylor, but I really think the story comes down to this is the Panthers' inability to win on the line of scrimmage on either side. The one thing that Steve Wilks has been preaching about is that I don't think it's Keith Taylor. I think there were some moments in third down situations that he was taking advantage of and exploited, and that's probably what you're supposed to do as an offensive coordinator. But they ran the ball on us at will. The linebackers weren't stepping into the holes. The defensive line, they negated any of the things that you like, any of the advantage you get with Brian Burns because they were always in rushing scenarios, right? And then on the offensive line, we just got zero push. Zero. I mean, every time we ran the ball, which wasn't a lot, we only ran the ball. We just didn't really get a lot of plays.
Yeah.
That's the actual thing, is that they annihilated an entire quarter. I'm going to try to pull up the game chart, but that's the story.
They had a
right
20 play. They had a 20 play drive
21.
in the third quarter. They just 21. I mean, they just ran a ball control offense, and we had multiple opportunities to get off the field on third down and failed to capitalize every single time. And look, I'm not putting the loss all on him, but dude, Keith Taylor got burned. He was doing
you got that 1-3 for 3rd and 14.
And no fucking one. He got his ass kicked from sun up to sundown today. Like, he was absolutely embarrassing, taking bad angles, not tackling well. Every time there was a big play that happened, it was over the head of Keith Taylor Jr. It's embarrassing that he's even out there. It's embarrassing.
There's another stat that really hit us or killed us. CK first downs.
Third and they were 12 for 15 on third down?
Yeah.
Like, that's virtually unheard of.
They were 12 for 16 for 7. They had a 75% completion percentage on third down. A success percentage. Guess what the Panthers was? 4 for 11, 36%. That's actually like normal, like, I mean, I guess it's not the worst number in some ways. 75. They just beat us that third quarter, man. Not just beat us, but like they took a quarter out of the game. So the number's 252.
We needed that.
5098.
Hey, real quick, I just wanted to say, Eric 37 with another $2. He agrees with Tony. He says that uni combo is cursed and it should be forbidden. Dude, everybody believes in superstitions nowadays. Drew blames this loss on Nick, and that's the reason we lost. Tony blames it on the uni combos that he have said have been cursed forever. You know what? You know what? There was some Panther fan that didn't wear their lucky underwear today. And that also played a part in it, I'm telling you. Panther Gal 73 with the $2 says Steelers thuggery. I mean, yeah, they beat us up some thugs. We had no choice but to just accept our ass whooping.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into the calls. The number is 252-228-5098. Take us into the cat calls, Cody.
Let's do it.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Come on, play. Play. Oh, God, of course, my shit's all fucked up.
Jordan's blaming CK because he didn't bench Trubisky in the Madison.
All right.
Is that what it was? Or bench Pickett?
Yeah, or you didn't bench Pickett, yeah.
All right, I got it.
Jordan believes that too. Are we supposed to be hearing something? Because we
Can't
don't
hear it?
No, not at all.
His
Okay.
ass needs to get. What
Yeah,
a
restart.
shit show this was. The defense sucked ass.
You hear it now?
Worse, they sucked
Yep.
the inside of an ass. Worse than that, they sucked the inside of an ass filled with dog shit and whatever nastiness else she could shove inside that ass. Keith Trailer, his ass needs to get out
I
of
like
this
how
fucking
people
thing.
call him Keith Trailer.
Take this coaching staff with a foot and wheel. No fight, no team. And fuck the Steelers, man. Fuck this whole team. And fuck all y'all wanting to say, we going to go to the playoffs. We going to win the division. They ain't going to win no division. People, you're going to beat yourself, man. Now, what's the draft legs with? Out of a running for a quarterback, came in and get out of a position to get a top defensive player. Man, fuck this shit, man. It's bullshit.
Tough game, man. It's just like the Seattle game. I told you I wasn't gonna get any hope or get excited about this team unless we beat Seattle. Is that like because you were gonna come on here after the Seattle game and say, "Oh, there's all this mathematical probability or opportunity where we can make the playoffs. There's still hope. There's still whatever." And if we would have lost to Seattle, I would have been just been so fatigued by those conversations. This is a punch in the gut right here. This is an opportunity for us to win and to seize the day, to seize the opportunity, seize the moment, to take our own destiny into our hands. And now we're going to be in that conversation that I was hoping, that I was happy we avoided last week or the last 2 weeks, which is last week, which is, oh, there's a possibility. Greg's over there right now watching. Well, if Tampa, if whatever. And the guy that came on, Mark Bergen, who we had on the show, Cody, this past week on the Beat Check, he said he was rooting for the entire NFC South to finish 6-11, every single team, and chaos to break out. And that's
It might happen.
It's impossible.
Can you imagine?
It is possible. I think it is possible, right?
No, everybody's got 5 wins in the division.
And then everybody could have 1 win more, right?
No,
and
there's
lose
3
all their
games. No, because they're playing divisional games at the end of the year.
No, we all have one outside one.
One outside, but everybody has one inside the division as well, which means, for instance, if Tampa Bay beats us, but we beat the Saints, well, Tampa Bay will have 6 or 7 wins, and the Saints will have 6 wins. Or I'm sorry, or like they'll have 5, but let's say that the Saints beat the Falcons, they'll have 6. Somebody's going to at least have 7. It's impossible mathematically for somebody to have less than 7 wins.
I hope somebody figure out if it's mathematically possible. That would be awesome if it was.
But
Greg is talking and you're muted.
And you're muted.
We're playing like this show's going right now like the Panthers game. This is full of errors.
If Tampa Bay loses out, Carolina wins out, let's see. New Orleans and Atlanta already played each other today, so they're not playing each other again. And both of those
that's
teams,
not what we're asking, though, Greg.
No, listen, that's what I'm saying. To get to 6-11. Like, think about it. New Orleans won today. They played. That was their last conference game against. Other than that puts them at 5 wins. So if New Orleans wins 2 more games, they have 6 wins. If Atlanta wins 2 more games, they have 6 wins. If Carolina wins 2 more games, they have 6 wins. And if New Orleans, Tampa Bay loses out, they have 6 wins. So, yeah, you're right. With 1 more. So it's possible. Well, actually, maybe I need to. I want to go back and look at this. It's possible.
Dude, I was never good at math. I know I'm not figuring this shit out.
Look, I'm labeling this section crying fans, though, based on the call.
Hey, can I say this? To all of those in the chat and on Twitter who say, oh, the Carolina Panthers have to take a quarterback. They have to take a quarterback. Quarterback was not the reason why we lost this game today.
Agreed.
Dude, I would love to have another badass defensive lineman added to this defensive line. I would love to have another badass linebacker added to the middle of our defensive backfield. Like
another
the fact,
linebacker?
Whatever, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to reach on whatever quarterback is there just because everyone has bought into this notion that we absolutely have to have a quarterback. Like, no, our defensive line needs a lot of fucking help. Our defensive backfield needs a lot of fucking help. Brian Burns and Derek Brown cannot be the only 2 decent players on our defensive line. That is never going to be a consistent team on defense. You need another, like Carl Van says, you need another defensive tackle. You need another defensive end. Hell, we need another cornerback. I think we need another linebacker. We have other needs that we need to fill out. And I'm not just going to go and jump for whatever, project quarterback they're telling us to take a chance on. I think that is dumb.
Panthers have a lot of holes. They got a long way to go. And you know what? If you could go, you might be getting that. You might have another season like this in store for you. To be honest, is that if you're thinking about what the reality of rebuilding a team in the wake of a new coach and stuff is going to be, you might be a little bit farther away than you think sometimes. The number's 252-228-5898.
What a shit show this was. The defense
that's
sucked.
the same call. God, I'm struggling today.
Yo, what's good, C3? This is JD, 864. Minute 55 left in the game. And, this has been defense not able to get off the field on 3rd down and offense not being able to sustain drives. I like the fight, the little chippiness and shit. I like how the guys out there, they ain't about to let anybody push them around. But disappointing loss. Disappointing loss, but still got 3 games left to go. Still can make some noise. We know what the NFC South looks like right now, so disappointing loss, but you still in it. All in all, regardless, keep pounding.
All right, JD, always glass half full, seeing some good things. He lives in paradise, folks. So, of course, he's going to be optimistic about the world. The chippiness of this team and fighting a little bit at the end, I guess.
At the beginning, really?
Yeah, you're right. It did seem like this team was upset with themselves, at least with some of the players that missed some opportunities. Shaq Thompson, some guys, you saw them bang, frustration a little bit, but frustration in the fact that they cared about the moment. They weren't defeated mentally. They're just beat up out there and exhausted. Now, it's kind of shameful in so many ways. And like our super chatter said here, check this out, is first, I'd like to thank you guys. We got Dot was a new member that came and jumped on during the beat check this past week. And then this comment right here. Can you bring up the super chat, Cody? Let me see if I can do it. Detail $5 said someone needs to speak to this literally being a Steelers home game. And it's shameful, Cody. It's shameful that you look into the stands and, man, the Steelers travel well. We all knew this was going to be like this, but it fills me with shame.
Well, I said that on Tuesday. I said of all the teams that come to Carolina, I think that's the biggest fan base that shows up. And generally when they get here, there's more Steelers fans than Carolina fans. And it proved itself today. Like, they travel well. And, you know, we mentioned it when we were talking in the game too. Like, Carolina is still a relatively young franchise. I know we're almost to the point where we can't really say that anymore. But at the same time, our parents growing up, and even me to a certain extent, you grew up either a Redskins, a Falcons, or a Steelers fan because they were the three closest teams around here, you know? So, well, maybe not Steelers, but I know a lot of Steelers fans in this area.
Well, they've had a lot of success, but it is shameful to not see that stadium full of blue.
But I mean, it's like, I think if we start out stronger, like, to me, this is not like how it has to be. I've seen
you were
this
supposed to
Panther
pick
fan
up.
base
I was laying it
stronger.
out there for you, Cody. That was the setup of setups.
What? Well, I missed
I
it. You
said
have to-
shameful like 12 times.
Oh, you know me. I rode the short bus when I went to school. So, but no, you're right. Sometimes you got to spell things out for me, and sometimes what we actually have to do is spell things out very clearly for these Panther fans. You know, they're already kind of feeling shame due to what this Panthers team did. So, I mean, we might as well just continue the shame train here and let the conductor do his thing. Big Papa, get on these shameful souls.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, Panthers fans, or maybe Steelers fans, you've come here to talk about the Carolina Panthers' disappointing outing against the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. The first home loss Steve Wilks has endured. But you haven't hit that like button yet. You haven't hit that subscribe, that notification bell. I have one thing to say to all you absolute freaks. Subscriber shame.
Man, we have 169 nice people watching. We got 52 thumbs up. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell for every single time the C3 Panthers podcast goes live. You know you need us, man. You have more fun watching than you do watching pathetic ass Panthers let the Pittsburgh Steelers whip their ass up and down the field. Tony Dunn, let's do some more calls or whatever we got next.
Yep, that'll do it. They just made that field goal to make an 11-point game. All week I've been thinking about how Steve Wilks is, in my opinion, just a weak and poor man's Mike Tomlin. And how, you know, I've heard years of Mike Tomlin saying, Steeler football, run the football, stop the run, yada, yada, that bullshit. And I heard Cody say the Steelers are trending downwards, you know. I mean, like, when you look at it, the whole NFL in terms of defensive teams like that are trending downwards. All the offensive-minded head coaches are trending upwards. Nothing against Steve Wilks. I love Steve Wilks. I love the story he could bring with the success story to this team. But you guys are on the podcast, like, just giving him the job, saying he's earned it. He's 4-5, one road victory. And he's gotten more out of this team than Matt Rule. Whoop-de-doo. Congratulations. Matt Rule is a dog shit head coach in the NFL. Steve Wilks hasn't proven that much. He's just proven he's way better than Matt Rule. Again, doesn't prove much to me. But, I mean, like, it sucks we lost. I wish we won. I wanted revenge for Cam. I wanted revenge against the Steelers. My parents are Steelers fans. But we lost. DJ got a touchdown, though, so that's cool. Tony got upset at me when I said the Lions offensive coordinator. My fault. I forgot Ben Johnson's name at the time. But I still think he's a good coach we should go with. If we want to stick with this, you know, line of scrimmage and that kind of hard, stubborn football, then I think we should try and make a run for Mike Vrabel. I know it's a long shot, but with the way the Titans are trending, with the GM, all the front office disagreements, I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Vrabel left the Titans, and if they did, hey, how would y'all feel? You know,
That's a
so
defensive.
that's what I
You
want to
just
say.
said
But
you
me
know
personally,
that.
I want Ben Johnson from the Lions. He's just always able to get his players, even if they're like not the best players. He gets the most out of them all the time. The game plan tends to work, even against some good defenses, some bad ones. You know, whatever. Tell me how y'all feel. Keep pounding.
I thought Deuce Staley was the Lions offensive
No.
coordinator.
I mean, look, were we too quick to jump the gun? And I'm legit asking because, you know, I know, especially after a loss, it'll get you feeling different. Like, were we too quick to jump the gun and anoint Steve Wilkes as the head coach?
I think
feel
this
like,
was, yeah, I wanted to give this call applause, by the way. I thought it was a good call.
Yeah.
yeah, it was it was a
Agreed.
great call because it's a conversation that we need to have. I mean, what much of, you know, how much of our endorsement of him was just because we were winning as opposed to him being the man for the job? And before you go, Greg, to add on to that, keep in mind that when we wanted Rivera out, you know, a lot of the things that we were kind of upset at was the played out zone defense that they always used to run, a lot of the older tendencies, the conservative play style. Now, granted, Steve Wilkes hasn't gotten a chance to build his own coaching staff either, so it's not like he can really control too much of that. But I don't know, maybe if we're still under the idea that we need to upgrade the way we do things here in Carolina, maybe there is an argument to be made that Steve Wilkes shouldn't be the guy.
Well, we can go back and check, but I think I was the first guy to put my name in the hat for Steve Wilkes. And I think everybody called me kind of crazy for doing it at first, and then more people started climbing that hill. I'm not going to take away from what I feel Steve Wilkes does for this team because of one game. I know that this game right here is the only game I've seen Steve Wilkes play, even though we've lost and he's had a loss before. The only game I've seen him playing where it felt like the team wasn't in the game. Didn't feel like they were there to win the game. So I've seen him in 5 games now, and in 4 of them I've seen a different team than I've seen in Carolina in 3 years. As far as wanting to win the game, wanting to play, being devoted to win. Today, it felt like they were out of it. Today, it felt like they thought maybe they looked past Pittsburgh, to be honest with you. Maybe they drank the Kool-Aid and heard everybody saying Carolina's going to win the division. And they just looked past Pittsburgh and thought about, I have no idea. But they were not in the game today, but I'm not going to blame that. I'm not going to say I'm not going to blame Steve Wilkes because he definitely has blame for it. But I'm not going to take away the fact that I think he should not be the coach because of that. Because he's done a lot more to show me he should be than just this one game of him showing me not.
Okay.
You know?
And Tony, a super chat from the stats with the $2. He says 6 wins each would be all lose next week. Carolina beats the Bucks, and New Orleans and Atlanta win.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. It is possible.
All right. So if that were to happen, then
Who
do
would
you
be
know how they figure out the division winner?
We would
The
win
division
because we'd have the
record?
best record and we would have beaten the Bucks.
They
we would have
have
beaten the Bucks
like
twice.
strength of schedule. Like they have all of these. Like it goes down this list of crazy reasons, like an algorithm after. Because I think everybody would have a tiebreaker. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody would really have the true tiebreaker because everybody's
division
beating each
record
other
is the
kinda.
first thing. So you look at division record, and if there's a tied in division record, then it goes to the next thing between those two things. But division record,
strength
would be
of
the first thing.
schedule is one, which they would all be probably the same since you played kind of your own division and then those old road games. It would be the thing. Do you know a lot of people have called for a long time being upset when a team like ours makes it to the playoffs and a better team misses the playoffs because they were in a better division, right? So some people have been calling to get rid of the divisions entirely and just have best record in the NFC, right? And so you wouldn't have, so you could have like, I mean, because imagine if like, say somehow a 10-win team doesn't get in, but a 6-11 team does. You know, so this might be the one thing that would destroy the divisions is for the one division to finish with this same exact record.
The only problem with that is how do you make schedules then? Because think about it, with the divisions, you have 2 games against each opponent in the division. That's 6 games out of your 17 a year, or 17 a
Do whatever
year.
you
So
want then.
do you just schedule there's what 32 teams, 16 teams on each division. So I guess you could have
You just have
everybody
a
play each other once.
team division. Yeah.
But you'd have to play everybody once and then play one team twice to make that work.
That would be cool.
You know?
That
everybody
actually
in the
might
NFC
be
would play each
kind
other
of cool,
once.
to be honest. You've played
It would be
every
pretty cool,
single
but who do
team
you
in your
decide who you play
division once.
twice? Like
It would
how do
just
you decide?
rotate every year.
Yeah.
It would just rotate like they do. Like, oh,
That
I
would
mean, I
be
like
weird.
the divisions. All right, that's actually a good debate. My take
Yeah.
topic, Cody. We got to write that one down. Is should the NFL do away with divisions? And would that? I wonder if it would I mean, it would be difficult to. The one thing about divisions is it creates rivalry for fan bases. Like it manufactures a rivalry.
I'm definitely not in favor of getting rid of divisions. I like the fact that you play the 2 games a year and those games more. I like that, but I don't know.
I'd like to realign them.
Yeah.
Know?
All right. Let's like so we'll be thinking about that. We want to hear your thoughts on not only this game, but with this finish of 6-11 for every team in the NFC South, would it destroy divisions? That would be awesome. The Carolina Panthers get into the playoffs somehow, destroy divisions, and make it to the Super Bowl. What a storyline that would be. The number's 252-228-5098.
What's up, C3? Hope you're having a good day. So this is Tyler. My thoughts on the game. We knew it was going to be a hard-fought game. 2 similar styles of football. Our running game was not there. Our defense could not get off the field on third down. They did okay, but they just could not get off the field on third down on the downs that counted. And Keith Taylor, that guy's got to go. Complete garbage. I get it, like he's 4th string, but holy God. They didn't even like try to help him. You know, like third and long, and man coverage with Keith Taylor. Trubisky just does it to the guy that's getting covered by Keith, and first down. And then a 3rd and 8 call with Sam, at the Panthers at the goal line. A QB draw. What the hell is that? Seriously?
Same.
Like, it's either Ben McAdoo is just stupid and stubborn and just dog shit, or they truly do not believe in Sam Darnold at all. And he was throwing down in the field okay, but when it comes to like decision making, he takes forever. Sam takes forever to make a decision when it comes to like quick passing. Like there's another their next possession when they were at the goal line, he takes a sack, just couldn't get out. I get like you're trying to see who's open, but the guy just holds on to the ball forever, man. It was a horrible game, and our fans didn't seem like they really showed up. I get the other fans travel well, but geez. It is what it is, but hope you guys have a good one. Keep pounding. Gotta get rid of fucking Ben McAdoo. That was fucking awful.
That was a fantastic call. Hit on a lot of things. I like it. It's not the whole point of this is not for us to agree on everything. The whole point for us right now in this post-game show is to get a therapy moment. I think I find a lot of things that I like about what he said about Sam. For me with Sam, it's just this, is that we've known that it feels like it's a mental block that has been his biggest enemy. Like he himself has been the biggest adversary for him. And, from the seeing ghost to this, like we're just trying to see if he's about to mentally break through. And every moment you think you got an opportunity for this guy to kind of finally pierce through that fog or that shroud of insecurity, he takes a sack. Is that he almost like today, if you think about it, he hits some big passes downfield. He throws that crazy touchdown to DJ. All of a sudden, you got this moment where he can really step into himself at home, make a difference, and he throws a couple of not stupid, but those swing passes are just off a hair, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, oh, we threw that wide receiver screen, but it's 3 feet in front of the ball, guys. So it's just hard for anything to happen out of it. And then you get down to the goal line and the sack happens. It was just like, man, if you can just seize one of those fucking moments, you can see Sam piercing to success.
I mean, Sam was 11 of 14 on third down today.
Yeah.
Like all those things that you've just mentioned about Sam, about wanting him to do, about not beating himself, he did. He
Almost
didn't get
there.
crazy.
He was
He
almost
didn't
there.
get crazy and throw a bunch of interceptions. He never let the pressure get to him. Whenever he got sacked, it was because one of our offensive linemen got his kicked someone in front of them. It wasn't like he was drifting into pressure unnecessarily. I mean, at the end of the day, Sam Darnold. Every time I say at the end of the day now, I'm never going to not think of Charlie Cox's Matt Rule impression.
Dennis Cox,
Dennis Cox. But it's, I mean, look, Sam played well today, and all he has done is get better. I just don't see how anyone could want anything more from Sam Darnold, especially when none of us were even believing in him to be the long-term answer. And I honestly, and a lot of those things that you said, Tony, those swing passes, those were bullshit play calls anyway, which goes back to Alex's call just now. The call in today was absolutely terrible. Before we go forward, I wanted to read some super chats real quick. $2 love bomb from 910 Panther fan says, exactly shake the divisions up. So he's on that side of the argument. Nirvash with the $10 says Wilkes has not earned the job yet. This Steelers loss probably left a bad taste in Tepper's mouth. In my own opinion, Wilkes needs to go 2-1 with the playoff win. What do you think is a minimum he needs for his job? And then Green Poplin says, I screamed so loud on that last drive, my voice will be off tomorrow. We got a false start. And that third down. Heartbreaking. And comments.
That felt like a Matt Rule defense today when you gave up the 3rd and 14. You know, is here, and I know you guys want to shit on Keith Taylor, but you brought the pressure on that play, and you didn't get home. You know, there's a reason you're in man defense because you were trying to blitz.
Yeah. And just so it's real quick.
I mean, and we didn't get home. That's enough. Like, another thing is so I know that the Taylor, like, that play really did matter. And, you know, we're going to call him out, but the defense didn't disrupt enough today because they couldn't, because they got run up the gut.
Yeah. And by the way, poor tack. Well, I've always said this whenever me and Greg are arguing about, is it the players or is it the coaches? And I have always said that when your football team is tackling inconsistently, that's on coaches, because it means during the week, your coaches are not making an emphasis on the fundamental, which is wrapping up, making sure that you're in the right place at the right time, and tackling consistently. When you have not just one player, but multiple players refusing to wrap up in key moments like that, to me, that says coaches are not implementing the things they need to implement.
And I will argue that with the same counterpoint, because we don't hear what the coaches are saying in practice. So I'm going to say it's because the players don't focus on wrapping up, making the tackle, and doing the right thing. Because we don't know what the coaches are saying. We don't know if they didn't focus on that.
Like. They don't even tackle in the practices, dude.
But you have to have tackle practices, though.
In the NFL season, they are running more. I can't believe they're out there like playing 7-on-7s, and that's how they're trying to get back. I probably think they're going through scenarios. They're doing things like that. I think in many ways, poor tackling is a player culture problem. Is that, and I'm not saying that in this team that there's a cultural problem, but like maybe that seems like a leadership thing to me. Like when you have some defensive players on your squad who are elite and who are elite because they play football the right way, like every little detail, the players I feel like hold each other accountable more, and not by lecturing people, but by creating an expectation like you don't miss tackles. You know, like, is that like you, like, I think of if you played on that Ravens defense with homeboy, what was it? Ray Lewis, and you missed the tackle, you think you excited to run back into the defensive huddle?
No. But okay, if that's all right, but if that's a culture thing, how are we going to give Steve Wilkes all the credit for the good things that he does?
No,
and
yeah.
then
How do you give all the
them
players
to them when the first word
It's the same argument.
First word.
I don't think you can generate that in a week though, or a
Yeah,
month.
but okay,
I
this is
think
what I'm
that's
saying though. When you have a bunch of players that are consistently doing the same thing wrong, they are not being taught consistently do those things. Either that or they're not emphasizing them in practice. Like you mentioned the Ravens. How many times do you think inconsistent tackling would have been a problem on those Super Bowl Ravens teams? Those coaches and those captains, they're not letting that shit fly.
Well, I think you can talk about the Panthers team though, and the Panthers team defense, which still Steve Wilkes was a part of. I don't think he's like generating a poor culture. We've heard that the Panthers defense is very young too. All I'm saying is this is those epic defenses that we have had in the past as our own team, and the ones that we can look around the league, they always had these players on them who were linchpin coaches on the field. And I just don't think that, I think elite teams, like when you have that eliteness to you, well, I just think, we just don't have it yet. I'm not saying that we don't have good players, but we need, maybe I'm saying thank you to those moments that we had Thomas Davis, that we had Luke Kuechly, that we had a Greg Olsen, like these players who just their mere presence elevates the expectation. And I think that's just something you can't do overnight, right? So it's not like, I'm not saying it's Steve Wilkes' fault either that we don't have that, is that we don't have that elite component yet.
And I want to say, first of all, 1 week is not showing inconsistency.
Right.
1 week is not. When you have 4 or 5 weeks before that, when you have 4 or 5 weeks before that, they're doing it differently. That's showing consistency. 1 week off that is not showing consistency. Secondly, I've had plenty of days I've gone to work and I just haven't felt like doing my job, and I didn't perform the way at 100% that day. Sometimes people feel that way. Maybe that's the way Carolina was today.
When every player on
you also raised the argument that you can't give Steve Wilkes the credit when we do well and then not give him the blame when he does bad. Well, I can say the same thing for players. We can't say Sam Darnold played fantastic today and the coaching was terrible. You know what I mean? We cannot do – your argument is great, but it works both ways. You can't give all the coaching all the credit whenever we do well, but you also can't blame everything. It's just –
I'm not saying that the players are without doubt. If they're not tackling, they're not doing their job. I'm just saying, if I'm the head coach and I have a team of guys that are not doing this one very important thing consistently, I'm like, oh, okay, it's time to button down the hatches.
Right, can we
on one specific thing? We have to.
Let me ask you then, Cody. In the middle of this game, okay. So let's imagine that Steve Wilkes is coaching, preaching, tackling like he has been for the last few weeks, and we've shown we've done for the last few weeks, okay. And we get in this game in the first quarter and we do like we did. What at that point can Steve Wilkes do to change the game? Like, seriously, what can he do? The only thing he can do is say words. The players have to change the game.
Dude, after that first defensive drive, even though it's the first one, when they get the ball on offense for the first time, after they scored that touchdown, I'm calling a defensive huddle and saying that is not going to win us this game today.
But that doesn't mean things are going to change.
The reason why we're sucking. You have to wrap up and tackle better. And
but that doesn't mean things are going to change because the coach says to do it. Just because the coach tells you to do it doesn't mean it's going to happen. The players have to be the ones to execute and do it.
Hey, boys, do you want to get more depressed?
Yeah. I don't know.
The Bucks are up 10-7. 10-7 or 10-0. I mean,
hey, we also got another super chat from Robert Armbruster. Appreciate you, Robert. He says, have to get Laviska involved. Laviska in motion is the key to winning. We didn't get him the ball once, or when we tried to. That's when either he ran the wrong route, Sam threw the wrong pass.
One play.
Due to how wide the throw was, I think Laviska ran the wrong route.
Right.
But
it doesn't. We really just didn't have enough offensive plays. That's the problem. Is because they eliminated an entire quarter of football, guys. We didn't play. Everybody else in the league played 4 quarters. We played 3 today. You know, I mean, like they occupied the ball for an entire quarter, and that just reduces like even what you could do on offense. We just didn't see it enough. I want to go back though to the previous super chat and what we've been yelling about in the coaching, this and that, and all of this. Really, there is a fundamental component to the conversation that he was bringing up, and that is, what does Wilks have to do to be the coach, right? And it seems like that at some points you wanted to say in last week, a lot of people on this panel would be willing to say that he's arguably done enough. This week was probably a game that David Tepper wanted to win.
Oh, he was, without a doubt. I mean, he doesn't want to lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. And then seeing all those towels out there.
He was going to win like we thought we were going to win.
Yeah.
Right.
So what does Steve Wilks got to do?
Listen, I don't know. It was a lot more clear cut after those 2 wins, right? Now that after this loss against the team that we were favored against, like it'd be different if this wasn't a win that we were expected to have. You know what I mean? But this was an expected win. And to have that end up that way, most of the wins or losses that Steve Wilks took was expected outside of that Atlanta game. And you can't really put a lot of blame on him. That Cincinnati game, we were expected to lose that. That Ravens game, we were expected to lose that. This Pittsburgh game, after they just benched their starting quarterback, we were not expected to win this.
Yeah. I mean,
we were
it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild how that question just completely transforms from one week to the next week.
Yeah.
And this game right here, because imagine if you win this game.
Oh.
And you're sitting there going like, well, he's done. I tell you one thing is that there would have been something he could have done to really help secure his job as head coach, and that is to walk away today with a win.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
it's like, but he didn't.
Right.
And now there is a real question of like, were we getting out ahead of our skis and saying that Steve Wilks should be the guy? Now, the other thing on top of that, though, is he's in a very difficult situation coaching with kind of a patchwork piecemeal put together thing and a team that's not great. So, like, he's not going to bring back Ben McAdoo next year. He's not going to, you know what I mean? Like, there's his staff would look entirely different, except for the question we're probably going to start looking towards is he going to bring Al Holcomb, who is his guy, and this defense. Have they been as good as you want them to be? Last week they were. This week, not so much.
Hey, I wanted
if
to
the season
highlight-
ended last week, I think it would be easy for us to say Steve Wilks is the job or has the job.
Yeah.
But this week, because we did go an extra game and we have more games to play, the fact that this game went the way that it did, and the fact that the loss was so heavily on the defense, more so than the offense, that part I think is what's a big dagger in his, or a big strike against that resume.
But is that fair? Is that fair to say that last week if the season ended he has a job, but this week because he lost this week he's not? Does that mean next week if he wins that he has it back again?
You know
I mean that's not fair to say.
No,
you know?
Greg, that's not what I'm saying. If you listen to what I said, I was saying that him losing this game in the fashion that he did was embarrassing. Now, well, luckily it wasn't a blowout, but it was. We were expected to win this, and we were expected to be somewhat dominant in that win. At least Panthers fans and most of the people that I've heard on different podcasts and different shows, right? We were expected to win this. We were not expected to win the other ones that we lost with Steve Wilks at the helm. Again, outside of that Atlanta game. So the fact that this went the way that it did, and it was with the thing that he considers his strength being the problem, then I would say that's the big strike against his resume. It's not saying that he won the job or lost the job. I'm saying that he's taken a pretty big hit because of this loss today.
Hey, Tony. Tony, I think your bastard son, I think he actually has the right of it. So much so I even saved his comments. He said we had one win outside the NFC South against the Seahawks team that's on the downhill right now. Just because you're better than Rule doesn't mean you're the best coach for the job. Let him finish out the season. He's earned the conversation, not the job. Kev, that's a hell of a comment, brother.
That is a hell of a comment. Yeah.
I think that's it.
That's right. It's right. I mean, and like he could have. I mean, if he won out if he would have won today, we would have said he's closer to earning the job. Though now we're having he's in the conversation, and maybe
that makes sense.
And maybe this, in some ways, is somewhat helpful to objectify the question more about who's going to be the coach next year, instead of potentially getting overly wrapped up in emotional success in a season after, like, is that maybe you get too high on the Wilkes train because you're on that euphoria of mattering. And today sobers up the conversation. It's a bucket of cold water on us to now say we got to think about our coach going forward, man. Boy, you know what that means? That this game was so bad that we are having like a existential moment right now as an organization.
It's the truth, though, because if we continue to have the same performances, especially on defense, going for the last 3 games of the season, if we end with a bad taste in our mouth, most of the fan base, even if you agree with Drew and thinks that, he had one of the most ridiculous tasks to turn this team around to begin with, if you go into this at the end of the season with 3 losses in a row, that's not going to put a good taste on the mouth of fans. So I
or
think
just like the reality of the equation. It doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. It's just there's more information, more data being injected into the algorithm of the question. Is like CK said, if the season ended last week, then we would have this data set basically to work off of, and we would be like, hey, this is the most logical thing. And it does tell you this, is that I know at the end of the day that people, and this goes to Greg's comment, like there's all arguments work against themselves in so many ways. In fact, if you take philosophy, like that's usually how you destroy a philosopher's greatest moment, is you just use their own philosophy against them. Mm-hmm. And this is the case here, is like when you say it's all about wins and losses, right? That's what teams will tell you. It's all about wins and losses. You don't remember what that loss was like 3 months ago, or that win was like. It's just a W and an L on the piece of paper. That's not always true. It's how you lose. It's how you win sometimes. That does have factors, and it might not be in that essential that season, but if you lose 3 close games and you're having the conversation about your job next year, and you lose 3 blowouts, that's a different conversation.
It's true.
I mean, it does matter. And so, like, when you win and when you lose matters. And the fact that Steve Wilkes was potentially leading this team on this back end run would have mattered. And today was I was going to say it, Ron Rivera. Missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity. True.
You can almost
252.
see why they say it.
Yeah, no, I get it. At the end of the day, I get it.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
fellas, what's going on? It's Alex, your boy from the West Coast, Panthers fan.
What up?
A1 for Panthers. Tough game today, real tough. Like I talked about in the podcast on Friday, you got when you're down 21-7. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to really see if we can move the ball down the field, score on offense, and as you could see, when it comes to stopping the run, that's what teams are going to focus on against us, and they're going to bait Sam Darnold to throw the football. And guess what? Didn't really show up today. Tough day in the red zone. Still going to keep pounding, fellas. All right. Thank you, guys.
Keep pounding. Man.
All right, let's keep going.
There's really nothing else to say today, Panther fans. The offensive line got fucking dominated, and the defensive line got fucking dominated. We just got so butt fucked up front today, it wasn't even funny. I'm disgusted. I'm sick. I don't even know what to say. But hey, Sam Darnold looked all right, I guess. But yeah, we just got butt fucked in front. You know what I'm saying? Rah, rah, rah. Perfect.
Row. Perfect.
Oh man, he pulled the perfect.
Yeah,
That's
that
all.
was great.
He's been listening to the show a long time. If he hit
Dude,
that,
dude, saying butt and fucked one after the next always makes me laugh so much. Like, yeah, dude, we're going butt fucking. Like, what?
in
All
front
right, that's
of
crazy.
everybody.
Yeah, yeah, all right. That's insane.
Next call.
Guys.
So, C3 is JD864. This is my second time calling in. I understand if you guys don't play it.
I always want
But I also wanted to add. I also wanted to add to what I was saying on my previous call. Moving forward, I would like to see. I think we're going to see, and I would also like to see a more balanced attack from the offense, because today the run game was stymied. I was just looking at the stats, and like it was bad. I think Foreman had 10 carries for 10 yards, so you're not going to win games like that. And we've seen previous games where our run game carried the offense. So I think moving forward, especially with what Darnold did today, Darnold was pretty he was pretty on point. Remy, do you really have to do all that?
Yep. He knows you're making a cat call.
Like my kids, they choose the best time to start making noise for absolutely no reason. But I like it. I like what I saw out of Darnold. The offensive line chose a bad time to have a bad game. But yeah, I think going forward we can still make some noise, get more of a balanced attack out of the offense. Darnold actually looked competent and shit. He threw for over 200 yards. Some of those yards came in garbage time. But yeah, moving forward, I think if you get more of a balanced attack from the Panthers are still in position to make some noise. Like I said, disappointing loss, but it is what it is. Win some, you lose some. Hopefully the guys learn from it, get back after it, stay hungry.
Thanks for the call, JD. You know what? One of these is you can just tell the temperature and the tone of people's like outlook in life. So at the end of the day, he's got like all these. He's got some good things to say, some bad things to say. But then when you have a loss, he's like, "It's a loss." At the end of the day, you got to move on. And then we're probably going to get a call in 2 seconds who has the same kind of points, which is to make the same points about the line, to lose this and this. At the end of the day, and go, we got to blow up the whole world. You know, like they just come to two completely in conclusions about what the meaning of the same event is. Let's keep going with the calls.
Tony, Cody, CK, and the Bat Daddy beat off Boy Toy. This team
my God.
overall, and the question if we should keep Steve Wilkes as permanent head coach has been answered.
That was crazy.
This team was out physical today, out coached today, and just outplayed today. Panthers are just not that good. Need new coaches, new roster. And I tell you what, I think you start with the linebackers. When a team is running on you, which the Steelers were stopping the run, they put 8-9 guys in the box stopping the run because they have good linebackers. Panthers can't stop the run because they don't have good linebackers. Need to get new linebackers. So, gentlemen, what are your thoughts? Bye-bye.
I think that was a great call. That's what I
That
think.
was. Did he call me the bat daddy that beat off Boy Toy? That was awesome.
It's like the greatest compliment you've ever
It
had.
was, yeah.
Dude, people really love us, man. People giving us nicknames and shit. Dude, that's awesome.
He's right about one of the. I've been saying this every time I'll see somebody out. Like, because I got this one watering hole I go to. There's like 3 or 4 people now that listen to our show, and they come up to me and they'll talk. And they're, are you excited? That's the first thing everybody, are you excited about this team? And I go, we're just not good. Like it's hard to get except we're just not a good team. Overall, we've got some good players, but we're not a good team. And there's just a lot of weaknesses around the board. And he's right about the linebackers, man. Like we got Shaq, who is a quintessential, like he's just whelming. He's not overwhelming. He's not underwhelming. He's just whelming. And then you don't even know the other dudes' names. Littleton, right? Who are they? Actually, I haven't heard our linebacker names. It says Luvu. I guess you would say Luvu, right?
Littleton,
Brandon Smith.
Yeah, Littleton, Thompson, and Luvu. And every once in a while, Brandon Smith. Hey, dude,
Okay,
look at
so
this. I didn't see this. Nirvash said Luke Kuechly called out the linebackers on the home broadcast of the game. I'm a fur. This coaching staff needs Luke Kuechly. It does. I'm telling you. I
you
know
know,
that you have to be born to be a coach or whatever, but the way that Luke knows the intangibles on where to be and how to play and what to do when, man, I really just think that our coaching needs his expertise, man.
do you know that Wilkes might give us though? If you hire Wilkes, that might be the best way to get Luke Kuechly in on the staff.
Oh, no doubt.
And
No
here's
doubt.
another thing is that you guys, one of the callers brought up offensive coordinator for the Lions, which is Ben Johnson. But here's the thing is Deuce Staley is assistant head coach. So he's listed as like the highest other than anybody when it comes to, but it's assistant head coach and running backs coach. Deuce Staley is the number one coach on the offensive staff. And then it goes offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, offensive. But if you look at the Lions staff, could you imagine a world where the Panthers staff looks similar to this in some ways in the future if Wilkes was the coach? Because look, they've got Mark Brunell as a quarterbacks coach, former player. What Dan Campbell, former player, right?
I watched.
Then he's got
Hard
Deuce
Knocks.
Staley in there, Mark Brunell. Antoine Randall L is a wide receiver coach for them. He was a player. All of these dudes were players in the league. There's a lot of players. And maybe you get in. I wonder if that's going to be trendy now. Saturday head coach, Dan Campbell.
But
and
Tony,
now,
you didn't want Ken Dorsey because you're like, oh well, he has Josh Allen.
he was a
So
bad player, though.
But how is this not a 1-year wonder? Like, all it takes is one good year, and then people are like, oh yeah, the Lions offense is really good, so I want that guy. Why? Like,
No, I'm not saying that they're
gonna
great.
need
I'm
to
just
do
saying
like
if you
a-
look at the comp, I'm not saying that I want to be the Lions or that they're even that great. I'm just saying the composition of their coaching staff has a lot of former players.
Right,
More
right,
so
right.
than you would have seen in past years. Like now, or maybe I'm just to the point where I know these players, where I'm old enough where I watched and I had Antoine Randall L on my coaching staff. I mean, on my fantasy team.
I was gonna say, yeah, we drafted them in fantasy.
Yeah, so I
that
mean,
might
I
be
think
part of it.
that's what it is. I had Deuce Staley on my fantasy team in the past, so I'm just sitting here going now, thinking about the iteration of a Luke Kuechly. Maybe one day, who would be? Maybe you have a Greg Olson one day. I mean, now I know he's in broadcasting or somebody. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
No, I hear what you're saying, and it would be cool to have some Panthers to come back in and coach for us. That would be cool. But I mean, I don't know. If we're gonna do this thing where it's like, okay, not Steve Wilkes, which by the way, I'm not out on Steve Wilkes. Like, I'm not saying that I am.
No.
Yeah,
I still
don't
think he's a
anyone should
reasonably
be.
good choice right now.
And like I said, I think that if he continues to put up decent performances, I think he has to be in the conversation, like Kev was saying. But at the same time, like if we're gonna go out and get a coordinator, like I want to know why we're signing him. What kind of offense does he intend to implement that would make this team better or different than it was? You know, and I don't just want to jump on the next trend, you know, of it's the Lions OC or the Philadelphia Eagles
Or
OC.
Ken Dorsey.
So can I
He's
ask
a
you
part
then
of the
what
con-
kind of
they're all part of the conversation. All of them.
can I ask you then, Cody, what kind of an offense would you want a new head coach to come in and build? Like, what's your vision?
Oh,
do you want to have this may be a Tuesday question, something for us to think about for Tuesday.
Yeah,
but like
definitely.
if you have a head coach come in, what kind of offense do you want them to put forth for Carolina, and that we have the ability to do with the players that we have? That's a good Tuesday.
To be honest, I think that we can a little bit like what Shanahan runs. I don't mind being a run-first football team, but one of the reasons why they wanted to upgrade away from Jimmy Garoppolo is to consistently hit those deep passes that their offense inevitably schemes open because they run the ball well and so smart. I think that would be fantastic. I'm also not opposed to a West Coast style offense if we do have the right personnel to be able to do so. Either way, it means that you have to continue and bolster this offensive line so that you can run whatever kind of offense you need to pass the ball effectively, to run the ball effectively. I really think it all starts with the trenches, and that's what we need to do. Continue to invest on this offensive line. And Kevin won me over, your illegitimate son, Tony, because he had the recommendation earlier in the year: trade Taylor Moton, put Cade Mays at left guard, put Brady Christensen at right tackle, and get some kind of trade value for Taylor Moton.
You ain't getting none now.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
I think Taylor Moton is the weak link on our offensive line this year, and I've been said
Well,
that.
you know, I mean, he's getting later in his career. You know, like
He's not that old.
Not that old, but he's not young either. I mean, he's been around here since
compared to the rest of our
2017,
O-line,
right?
he's not young,
2018, somewhere in there.
And I think that we're wasting Christensen's tackle abilities.
No, that's all interesting. I'd be very curious to see if Wilkes came back, if Al Holcomb came back. And when you talked about the offense that you wanted us to build, Greg, there's only one single answer. And that is one where Cam Newton is the quarterback and we have two tight ends that are running out. I mean, I'm ready. I think what we should do is bring Rod Chudzinski in as head coach next year and Cam Newton back as a quarterback and just relive the old days. That's what I want. That's the offense I want. The one from 2015 or the Chud offense was fun, even though we didn't win a lot of games in that. It was a fun offense with the two, Jeremy Shockey, Greg Olson, beating ass with Cam Newton. That's the offense I want. I miss Cam. Next call.
Me too.
Hey, Panthers fans. I just wanted to say, obviously, that was a pretty terrible game, but hang in there. Just a few quick notes I want to go through. Yes, obviously, they did look awful. I'm not going to point out the obvious. I think that you four of you kind of just covered everything. But ultimately, I think what happened here was that the Panthers started to plan to play against the Steelers, and then the Steelers planned. They kind of they knew what we were going to plan for effectively and then just countered it. And what we should have gone into this game doing is we should have known that, okay, they know we're going to be running the ball a whole bunch. Well, let's go into the game and flip this a little bit and come out with tackling it in the air. But ultimately, just terrible all around. And they did have some really good passes over to, like, D.A. Moore's picked up some good yardage. That's how we should have come out the gate instead of trying to cram it down their throats in the run game. We should have, I don't know, they just did a better job planning against us with this whole thing. Anyway, hopefully the Bucs lose today. We'll see. All right. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Keep going. Keep playing. Trying to talk.
This last thing. All I gotta say is give Steve Wilkes the job. He's earned it after 8 games. Give Steve Wilkes the job. It's Steve Wilkes' job. It's his job. Give him the job. I told everybody on the Friday FIFA that you have to let the rest of the games play out. Everybody talking about he earned the job. Drew, Klein, give Steve Wilkes the job. He earned the job. Give him the job. That's all I got to say.
He's saying, I think he's being a little sarcastic.
He's definitely being sarcastic.
Let's go to the next call.
What's up, you guys? It's your boy, Cody Monster. All right, so I'm getting ready to leave the game, but man, I have never in my days been more fucking frustrated. And it's crazy. I'm frustrated about the game, but at the same time, I'm also, I don't usually complain, but man, I got a bitch about these fans. I have never been more fucking embarrassed about being a fan of this fucking team. All right. Not so much for the performance. Yeah, we're not the greatest team we're going to get, but as far as the fan turnout and everything, if anybody went to the game, man, it was absolutely fucking pathetic. The amount of fans you would think were at a fucking game over at the old school Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. You got all these fucking fans who want to sit here and worry about making a buck as opposed to not even coming to the game. You got locals not even coming to the game, whatever. And the crazy thing is, you can't even say it's because it sucks, because you look at just how the Steelers got the fucking damn near the same fucking record. They got Mitch Trubisky at this point starting at quarterback, which ain't shit. You know what I mean? And the fact that you about sold out a fucking opposing team. All right. I have never been more fucking frustrated. You know, I'm frustrated about the performance and everything. Lord have fucking mercy, especially Keith fucking Taylor. All right. At what point in time do you realize he is getting burned damn near every fucking pass? They had him covering Deontay Johnson majority of the game. And I felt like every time I looked up on a pass, it's a fucking throw to Deontay Johnson. What the fuck? At what point do you make the swap? C.J. Henderson, C.J. Henderson, even J.C., whatever. You know, they made the swap into the fourth quarter, and look at what happens. You take them off, even though it started working and everything. For what reason, I have no idea. But man, I already know there's going to be a bunch of phony ass fair weather fans that jump on here and about to start talking that shit and say, "I told you so." In particular, y'all know who, whatever. I'm not even going to throw out his name, but y'all know who. I'm not one to sit there and stoop that level, whatever. Man, I just want to jump up here and say, man, our fucking fans are absolutely fucking atrocious. You got teams that suck, man. Win, lose, sleet, shine. 15 years plus, whatever that. That's still selling out games. And y'all motherfuckers can't even show the fuck up, man. You know, this is our last game that we're going to this year, whatever that. We drive 5 fucking hours, man. 5 fucking hours. For this shit.
Yeah, for that.
You know, it is what it is, man. Keep pounding. I'm still going to be a fucking fan. My wife's still going to be a fan and everything, but I just have to get this shit off my chest, man. Y'all know what it is.
I feel you.
Appreciate you, brother. Great call.
Therapy session. Yeah.
Hey, hold on. Look, I just want to take my victory lap for a sec. If Tony can derail the show from time to time and just take it in random directions, I can do it too. On a formal apology. Everybody, Greg needs to apologize to me. Tony needs to apologize to me. You know, you were doing it there, but I demand mine in public, baby. Dude, Trevor Lawrence is right now, statistically, what he's doing. Dude, he's playing the best quarterback game in the NFL right now, man. This dude is balling the fuck out. And people call me crazy when I'm like, yo, I'm trading 2 drafts for Trevor Lawrence. And I'm like, man, dude, I would still do it, bro. T-Law is the I don't want to hear Kevin say dumb shit like Rattler over Lawrence, bro. Nobody's smoking meth, bro. We ain't doing that shit. But yeah, the floor is yours. Greg and Tony need to talk about
I'll
this.
give you the apology, man. I still would not trade what you wanted to trade for him. However, I was wrong about this guy, it looks like. I watched this game next to the Panthers game today, and this game was way more interesting to watch. And Trevor Lawrence had some amazing passes in this game and brought them back from being down when they pretty much were out of it and came back and won this game. So I got to give you credit, Cody. I'll give Trevor Lawrence credit. He proved me wrong. He's doing really well so far. And after watching that game today, man, he plays like this, he is going to be the top of the league. Like
dude, I know my quarterbacks. I told Tony about Justin Herbert. I told Greg about Trevor Lawrence. And I'm telling all of y'all about Matt Corral, man. That's my next one that I can't prove myself right now. But, dude, give it time. Matt Corral is going to be the future.
I hope you're right. All right. Next call.
We can't even beat the Steelers with fucking Mitch Trubisky as quarterback. We still can't stop the run against a reputable team that has a halfway decent running back. And yet we want to go to the playoffs. And trust me, I want us to go to the playoffs, but not after a performance like that. I'm sorry. Their run defense was great, but their pass defense was terrible. We should have been passing the ball more than we were. Okay, this is insane. So, and for anybody that wants to talk about how many Steelers fans were inside the stadium, let's remember, this franchise has been around for how much longer than us?
Man, yeah.
Everybody's moving down south to get away from the cold. Okay, because the cold sucks. They don't travel down here to go to the game. They live down here.
Right.
Okay, same thing with Packers. Every stadium throughout the country. They're everywhere just because they've been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
But Shout out to my boy D Baby for trying to buy my tickets so that way I can't go to the game next week. But don't worry, I'm going. Keep pounding, guys.
I thought it was Drew.
I think he said Drew Baby.
Oh,
yeah, he
Drew
said,
Baby.
yeah, he's calling him D Baby because Drew doesn't believe that the Panthers lost today. Drew just believes that Nick was in the stadium. So therefore, that's why we lost.
He, in fact, I'm a little surprised that Drew hasn't called in to talk about that yet.
I thought
He could not stop talking about it earlier. And then the other thing about it is Cody put out something about don't let Drew bully you go into the game next week or something. Or if he did, that would be hilarious. Or leave. It was leaving early, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he said that he went to the Bojangles, and I forgot there was a Bojangles in the stadium. So I thought that he left to go get I'm like, dude, did he actually make you get out the fucking
Oh, man. All right, let's go to the next call.
What's up, C3? Anthony from Charlotte. Man, I'm very, very disappointed right now. I have a lot to say, so I'm going to break it down. My first thing I want to say is, fuck the Panthers, man, okay? They do this to me every year. At some point in the season, when it's the lowest of lows, we win a couple games, and then everyone's like, oh, my God, this team is legit. This team has heart, blah, blah, blah. Then what do? They lose to a Mitchell Trubisky-led offense. They run all over us when Najee Harris has literally been one of the worst statistical running backs this season. It is so frustrating, man. I don't know where the defense was. All those people that are calling Brian Bird an elite edge rusher, yeah, this is the prime reason why he's not an elite edge rusher. Because every other game, he decides to disappear. I saw him getting thrown around by tight ends. I saw him not being able to get off single blocks. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. The defense was nowhere to show up. We only have one good cornerback in J.C. Horn. And for some reason, they decided to put him on George Pickens in the second half, which left Deontay Johnson watching. I don't want to hear the people that say, Will Smith. No, it's an okay season. He's gotten a couple picks here and there, but his man coverage hasn't been good. Second thing I want to say, for the people that say we don't need a quarterback, y'all are just delusional. How many years is it going to take for us to get a quarterback in some shape or way or form, a quarterback that can do some things without a run game? I told y'all, if there's no run game, Sam Darnold / PJ Walker will look as the same as Baker Mayfield did with no run game or worse.
It looked way better than Baker.
Man. I mean, it's just embarrassing. I don't know.
You had me to the last part.
We're going to be in the same situation where we win 5 games, miss the playoffs, and not get a top pick. We're in purgatory. It feels like it's never going to end. It is crazy to me. I seriously don't know what to think about this team. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Another season down the drain, man. And this is Anthony from Charlotte. And yeah, boys, C3, you're the only thing that keeps pounding because I kid you not. It's literally the only thing that keeps pounding. At least you guys don't root in the Panthers' hopes, and you guys show up every Sunday. So, yeah, love y'all, boys. Keep doing what you're doing. And last thing I do want to say, we need to no more losses on the season. We have to win the last 3 games if we want to make the playoffs or have any shot. Because if we miss the playoffs and don't get a top pick, it's going to be terrible. Anthony from Charlotte.
As the Buccaneers just go up, 17-0 on the Bengals.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. Look, I like is Anthony's call. I'm glad that people having the energy, that reaction still. The fact that he had that energy of being upset really means that we still care about the team. You know, like, is that, and there was an opportunity earlier in this would have been that season where you are the number 2 draft pick. This would have been a long year. The Panthers have generated some excitement, strangely, for us this year. So they got to win out now. Or else we are kind of sitting in this like, if It wasn't a bad season. It wasn't a great season. It was, you like start and we just bobbing in the ocean like we've been for the last 5 years without direction or without a paddle. But I don't even know if a top 10 pick. I think we just got to make a good pick. We just got to have a good draft. That's what we need going forward. We need a draft of the caliber of that Kamara draft for the Saints or whatever that draft. They got like Lattimore and they got like 6 starters. We need a draft like that where we hit on everybody. We hit on the free agency and we give the new head coach a real shot to build something, So whoever that first pick is, whether it's a quarterback, whether it's some receiver or something like that, they got to hit like big time. They got to slap,
Yeah.
That's how you change things around. You just got to hit. You hit on Jalen Hurts is that you get like, he just worked. That's it.
Yeah. We have to draft well. We have to have a draft where we get more than one pick that turns out into being a good player. I want to disagree with the
more
last
than a
thing
good
that
player.
Anthony said.
We need more than a good player, though.
But again, if you're talking
a great
about
player, think about that. Is that what we're talking about with? No, what I'm saying is this: is that like, and I'm not just saying like, is just think about who our drafts have been over the past whatever years in the first round pick. We haven't gotten a fucking star.
Bullshit. JC Horn's a star.
No, you can't give him that yet. That's being
Why not?
That's
why
being
not?
He's the top defensive back in the league. Why not?
You think he's the top defensive back in the entire league?
The stats say he's the top defensive back in the league.
The stats say that he is playing like an absolute shutdown corner.
Right in front of James Bradbury. Just saying.
All right, so you're ready to put J.C. Horn in the star caliber of Luke Kuechly.
What would you need to do to be a star?
What I mean by that, is to be.
But Tony, you're raising the benchmark too. But Tony, you're raising the benchmark too high.
Maybe it is J.C. Horn. I was saying this. It's not Shaq. That's all I'm trying to say. It's not like they're very. We need more than a good player to turn the team around. We need a great player.
Agreed, but what you're saying is you're trying to compare him to a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think a first ballot Hall of Famers
that's what we need.
Are maybe one player in every draft, if that, are first ballot Hall of Famers. I'm not talking about for the team. I'm talking about in the entire draft, maybe one player. So that's really hard for you to hit that one guy in a draft that's going to be that guy, if there even is one. Now, being a Hall of Fame player or an elite player is different. I think J.C. Horn is a guy that if he continues the trajectory he's at, is a Hall of Fame player and an elite player. There's no reason he shouldn't be in consideration for one of the best defense players of the year.
Well, then we need more than one of J.C. Horn.
Quarterback.
I agree.
How about this? Out of all the positions that you're talking about, dude, today, the quarterback loses the game. And by the way, I really want to disagree with something that Anthony said. And Greg has been saying this too. Well, but that basically there's no difference between Darnold, PJ, and Baker Mayfield. And whenever Baker Mayfield lost, it was because we never, ever got the run game going. Okay, well, today, the Carolina Panthers could not and did not get the run game going, and Sam Darnold was one of the better parts of this team today. He was 11 of 14 on third down. But he was 11 of 14. Okay, but that's not on him. That's not on him.
Inside the 10-yard line.
At all. It's literally not on him at all. He was evading pressure
he's part of it.
all game, putting the ball where it needed to be, and Baker Mayfield was never going to do that. That's not the point that I'm saying. To say that there was no difference between a Baker Mayfield and a Sam Darnold, and just the run game got going for Sam and not Baker. Well, today has disproven that notion completely. Sam played well today with no run game. With none.
Sam did play well today, but Sam had two drives with 3 plays apiece inside the 10-yard line to score a touchdown that would have put us up. He didn't do it.
Yeah,
you say Baker Mayfield didn't do it. Baker Mayfield drove us to come from behind game-winning drives in the first 2 games of the season.
No, they didn't win them. They didn't win them. So
you're going to blame the bad calls and you're going to blame the bad calls and the defense.
I want to go back to my conversation. This conversation sucks. I want to go back to my superstar conversation. You guys are getting it twisted about Okay, so maybe I just feel like, look, Trucking Mogul said this in the chat. I agree with him. He said we haven't had a big enough sample size yet for us to label JC Horn a superstar. But if he is, we need some players on this team that change how other teams play us. And that's just what I'm saying, is that when you look around at teams who are trending up in the league, they all have good teams. They play on good teams, but they also have some players that are just like fucking incredible. Like, I mean, I put like the Tyreek Hill, the Jamar Chase, the Steph, like they have more than one superstar on their team. And right now, the only superstar anybody in here is willing to say on this team is JC Horn. Is that the only one?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're all down on Brian Burns.
So is Brian Burns a superstar?
Brian Burns could use somebody else to help him, and he's really going to take off. But yeah, like I think Brian Burns has that kind of play, and he's kind of hurt from 2 weeks ago. So
I'm not trying to. I'm just asking. I'm not trying to say he is or isn't. Do we have?
Those are the two best players. Those are our two superstars. And by the way, another thing I wanted to talk about, you know who I'm not willing to call a superstar? That we've been very, dude. Jeremy Chin.
Why? He's playing fantastic, dude.
No, he was a liability.
He's not playing fantastic. Jeremy Chin, not only was he taking bad angles, but he gets beat in coverage a lot. And I think that's been a problem.
Go back and watch. I just remember one play where that run play that the commentator called him out on. That's the
Jeremy has not been good. He hasn't been like terrible, but been in coverage. He has been a liability, and a lot of times he will just pick terrible angles, run into the football, and he'll end up missing completely on the tackle.
Yeah.
He's not playing good.
Next call.
What up, C3 family? D, Sanford, North Carolina.
What up, D?
Another rough one. I really don't know how I feel about it. We were dominated on the line. We were dominated in time of possession. We kept fighting. I don't know what direction to point it in, like as far as the rest of the season. But I'm saying go Bengals. Getting the Panthers up. Y'all do a great job. Let's try to get them again next week. Keep pounding.
D, appreciate you, brother.
Man, unless the Bengals start getting it together, it's not going to matter. Man, the Bucs win this game. You're really talking about a difficult road to the playoffs for the Carolina Panthers. Next call.
Hey, C3 family. Man, this team don't deserve to go to the playoffs. Playoffs? Man, there ain't no way we need to be in no playoffs. We can't play no better than this half-ass stuff we put on the field today. We need to go ahead and sit at the house. I don't agree with a lot of things G-Baby says, but, he's right. We ain't got no business talking about no playoffs. Nobody from the NFC South should. We all suck. Also, y'all go follow me on Twitter, PantherFan2222. Everybody keep pounding. We only got a few more games. This season will be over. We can look forward to the future. Peace.
Yeah, that's one of these games. These are one of these gut chuck games. And we got beat up, like Cody said, by our older brother today. This wasn't just another team playing so exceptional at, where you got routed by Justin Herbert or you got routed by Patrick Mahomes or something like that, and you were just clearly outmatched. Is like CK's been saying, is that the Panthers, we walked into this game believing it was realistic to win and believing that we had a real opportunity to win, and they just beat us up. Right. It's like a fight. You fought hard, but they fought harder. And I don't mean it's on an individual level. It's we walked away bloody from this one, and it almost hurts more than just getting knocked out. Like it's like when you get knocked out, you don't remember it. This one, you walk away with sucking up snot, a little embarrassed, a little manhood insulted. It was a gut check, a gut punch to this team. And one so much that we're sitting here talking about what this did for Wilkes' discussion as coach. You know, I mean, right after the words of protect this bank, it's kind of like one of those moments where you see a guy in a video being like, well, step, I'll beat your ass. And then the guy steps and then beats his ass.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
you should have just shut up, bro. Shouldn't have said nothing.
Yeah. You called attention to yourself.
Yeah, and no, but I mean, I like that he called. So I'm not saying he shouldn't have said it, but this was a game like we needed to muscle up and man up and win. We didn't from the beginning. Whatever it was, they were ready to play today, and we weren't. On all phases of the ball. Kudos to the Steelers for stopping the run and running the ball. And I think this also goes to show this. If you just look around the league right now in the NFL, the fact that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are up 17-3 right now, this almost shouldn't surprise us that the NFL doesn't work out as we expect it to work out. Right? It's like you look at a team every time in the past, we go, oh, I feel like we used to play the Saints a lot when they had a shitty offensive line. And we'd be like, oh, man, they gave up 6 sacks last week. Oh, we're going to eat on this. And our defensive front's like the best part of our game at that time. And then you walk into that week and you don't get any sacks. It's like, it's the NFL, man. You don't even know what's ever going to happen. Houston almost beat the Chiefs today.
Dude,
and
after that game yesterday, like the Minnesota game yesterday, which, by the way, I've got to hand an apology to CK. You were right about the Vikings. I was wrong. I believe in the Vikings now. They are a better team than I thought they were. After the game yesterday, being down 33-0 at halftime and winning 39-36, anything's possible. That game ruined me for today. That's why I thought all day long, we can come back. We've got this. It can happen. I saw a 33-point comeback yesterday. It can happen.
Oh, no,
they ruined me yesterday, but anything can happen, dude. Anything.
Yeah, every week. Trevor Lawrence could throw 4 touchdowns. You never know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I've been telling y'all he could throw them touchdowns.
Say, Jones.
Good evening, fellas. I just wanted to say that, there's a lot of people who thought we would win. I was one of them. My apologies. I thought our defense would play better. I thought our running game was great. I did notice that the RB package where we were in, or not just the RB package, but there was a lot of plays in the last several weeks that we actually used extra offensive linemen as blockers, like as tight end blockers. We didn't do that at all today, period. So what's up, Ben McAscrew? But I also wanted to add something else. If you are a Panther fan and you find that through the last year or two, you are more happy when we lose than when we win, take your Panther card out and shred that bitch because you're not a fan. Is that harsh? Yes. Is that wrong? Could be not. I don't really know you. But if you find yourself that you're more happy when we lose because you get to prove a point to somebody online, you really need to look yourself in the mirror or go find a dark room, sit down and ask yourself, are you really a Panther fan or are you just here for the conversation? But everybody have a great day.
Have a great day. We're pulling fan cards now. Drew said he ranted also. He had his numbers 207. Say came through with a big rant. I mean, I hear you, Pickle. I mean, everybody, for a while, you got to understand, people have been looking forward more to the draft than they do to the actual season. So they're thinking if we better draft picks. I don't know, man. Everybody's going to fan their own way.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I mean, look, you should be depressed, man. You should be down right now. It's okay to be. This is the fun thing. If we all just spoke into an echo chamber, this would be boring. You know, it's like it's good to have a balance of voices, like ones that make us. I mean, and hell, it's super. I actually am disappointed in Pickle there. I've been really entertained by Super Angry Pickle recently. Like, he's been tripping people out on the Friday free-for-alls. He's been chipping around. I felt like he came like he was even a little sobered by this moment. Reserved. I thought he was going to come strong.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Cody. I was calling in one last time for a quick call. One thing I wanted to touch about is kind of just piggyback off last week and everything. What's your guys' opinion now on Brian Burns? That's back-to-back big games and everything where I felt as if he's made a minimal impact. So, granted, yes, he is a great player. I think he deserves to be paid at least top 10. I don't know about top 5 at this point, but I was just curious about what you guys are thinking and everything. So y'all are talking about the pass rush and everything. Brian Burns got 0 rush throughout the entire game, really. So what do y'all got to think about that?
I mean, it's on you. I mean, he's backing up your point that you were making the other day that everybody was jumping onto your case for. So I don't know. Is he right?
I don't know. Like, I think you have to have good players on a team. And I just feel like Brian Burns has been very good for us. And he's a player I'd rather have on our team than not have on our team. It's just a question of how elite are they? And I think that question I raised earlier is who are the superstars on this team? The first person you guys started arguing about was J.C. Horn, not Brian Burns.
I think that's that's because J.C. Horn is right now playing some of the best cornerback football in the entire NFL. You can't say the same thing about Brian Burns.
Yeah,
he's having his best season, and what people were just saying.
The two can exist at the same time, Tony. Like you're just because we wanted to go to J.C. Horn doesn't mean that that's a damnation on Brian Burns at the very beginning. I mean that's not what we're saying. J.C. Horn was the first person because he's the best defensive player on our team. It doesn't mean Brian Burns isn't a great player either. That's like saying that Thomas Davis was a bad.
I'm asking you about superstar, and I'm just saying it's interesting that we didn't say Brian Burns' name first.
Let me ask you a question. If we had the same conversations about superstars, and we had Cam Newton and Luke Kuechly on this team, and you decided because I decided to bring up Cam Newton instead of Luke, that's an indictment on Luke. That's not true. That's just irrelevant. That you can't look at it that way.
I think what the most important thing the caller said here was that it brings him to a more top 10 player type pay in the league than a top 5.
Right.
And I think that's honestly, maybe he's right. And Tony, maybe that's kind of
been my point.
That's kind of leaning more towards what you're saying. Maybe he is just a top 10, not a top 5 guy right now. And maybe he is. We'll see.
And maybe
he may still in the season with 16 sacks.
Circumstance. Maybe that's because this game did not play to his skill set.
No.
So I don't really know in fact, I don't really have a different opinion about Brian Burns today than I had last week. My opinions probably stayed about the same because how could he ultimately really be an X factor in a game where they just ran up the middle?
Right.
I don't know if that really has today. I mean, I guess there were a couple opportunities. There were some passing downs, Matt. Maybe we could have done some different things that he could have stepped in. I just feel like, hey, if the referendum today is more on the defense, it's on the linebackers probably and that defensive tackle group not being able to just stop them from moving. They rushed the ball 6 yards every play. It felt like they just rushed for 6.
How long are we gonna call out our linebacking core? Years now, and that especially when you compare them to Panther linebackers cores in our very recent past, this is found wanting. They are not good enough. We're not fast enough. We're just not we're not attacking gaps enough. This linebacking core is not. We need to upgrade it, and we need to do it big time.
Yeah. I would say this linebacking core is the better one we've had in 3 years, but that's not saying much. And the only reason I'm saying that is because the linebacking cores in the previous years have been such liabilities in a way that we knew their names. Tired Whitehead, right? We had all I don't even know our linebackers' names really, other than Shaq Thompson. And I guess you call Frankie Louvu a linebacker, but I feel like we play him a little bit more like
everywhere. Yeah, he was like Jeremy Chin's rookie season. Yeah,
I mean, I guess like I know Louvu. I would say he's best then. I don't know. It's just meh.
Do you think better defensive line play has made it so the linebackers necessarily don't have to be as good, or we don't hear as much about the linebackers?
That could be a good possibility too. But I don't even know if it's been great. Like, and Ioannidis, his penalty today hurt us when he offsides. He didn't have a good game today. But we should probably give him a break since he just had a stroke.
But you get what I'm saying? No, that was Anderson. That wasn't Ioannidis.
Oh, that's right. You're right. It was Anderson.
Yeah, that was Henry Anderson. But by the way, like the fact that Ioannidis is one of your starters is indicative of your problem. I'm not saying Ioannidis is a bad football player, but he's not a day one starter in the NFL. We need more help on the defensive line. We have to have it. We need more help on our defense.
And that's even if Brian Burns is great or not. And that's regardless of how great or not Brian Burns is. You can't like he just can't thrive. That unit just needs to be stronger. And I think Derek Brown is not the problem at all. Not at all. And so I'm excited about Derek Brown as a player on this team, but we're going to have to just get bigger and stronger up there. And you're right. He needs some help on the other side of it. Another edge rusher. And they just need to be they don't even have to be the best in the world. If you could get an 8-sack guy on the other side of Brian Burns, I think that would be what you need to have to get Brian Burns to reach the stratosphere.
At this point, I almost want another defensive tackle more than I want another defensive end. Like just straight up, like another beast in the middle on the other side of.
Gosh, we're getting old.
Is there a guy in the draft out there like that though that you could think of?
Well, I mean, the big name is Jalen Carter out of
Georgia. The Georgia guy.
I mean, they've got a few, but again, we're probably not going to be picking high enough for.
No, we're going to be picking like probably 15 to 20. To be truly honest with you.
Oh yeah. You know who I wanted? Another Georgia defensive tackle. He was playing fucking awesome for the Eagles. He just got hurt. He got hurt this year after having like the best. God, what was his name? Remember I kept talking. He got drafted last year.
Jordan Davis. Davis, the one from
that
last
guy,
year.
And he was just eating, and then he got hurt. He hurt his ankle or something.
Yeah, he went to Mallet Creek, Ivory High School.
Yeah. All right, next go.
It's me, C-Dog, 1983.
C-Dog.
What up, C?
Even though we lost today, still a wonderful day. I don't feel bad anyway about this loss today because Ben McAdoo is our offensive coordinator. You know, I want to see what Steelers can do with his own offensive coordinator and at least Matt Corral or Sam Darnold, you know. But there's no need to be upset about today's game, you know. Ben McAdoo is not exotic, you know, for his play calling and everything.
C-Dog has turned into Snoop Dogg.
I'm confused. Can't believe we gave that many points to
He's just super chill about it.
You know, the only thing I'm disappointed in are some of the plays for them defense. They had goddamn Brian Burns in fucking coverage. Bro, that motherfucker go get the fucking quarterback, man. The fuck? I mean, that's the only thing I was mad about. Every time they put Brian Burns in goddamn coverage. We couldn't get no pressure on the quarterback. We need our best goddamn pass rusher in coverage on goddamn third down. Fuck that shit. Then go get the fucking quarterback, man. The fuck. But besides that,
we got mad at Snow.
Good day. Shit, it's still a good day today. Whenever you come in here, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Shout out G Baby the GOAT. You know, so I gotta give my better shout out. Shout out the whole C3 Podcast. They do these shows. We got a Tuesday night show. We got a free fall on Friday. Then we got a game simulation last night and everything. But it could be with their families doing way more important stuff, but they always put on great content. But anyways, everybody have a great day today. Like and subscribe. Keep pounding.
C-Dog, man.
Oh, he's great.
Great dude. Great
Yeah, he
dude.
is. Has G Baby called in today?
No, I don't think so. Here, let's keep going. We got a few more calls though. Let's see.
He was in the chat for sure.
What up, C3? How y'all doing? This is Nick Hedden at the Panthers Den KP on YouTube. Y'all check it out. We need, we try to do some real crazy stuff into the off season and even into next year. But yeah, so my comment about today's game, specifically about Steve Wilks. This should not be the end all be all where we decide whether he should be the coach or not. Let's be honest. This was the Steelers. They've always had a number. For some reason, they have always had our number. They could be the most strongest team that anybody wants to be or doesn't want to be. But when they play us, they find that identity. We're the Super Bowl champion Steelers. Steel curtain all. That's what they do. My whole thing is this: for Wilks not to get the job, that would really be a huge slap in the face. Because you have to consider we have had one other interim that got no wins. So you put him up beside that, okay, you got to say he's better than that. And then for the last 2 years, we've had this poo-butt coach that couldn't get us past 5 wins. We're going to get past 5 wins this year, so he's pretty much going to do better than that. We're either going to go 6 wins or 7. Hopefully we can win out, but, if we get more than 5 wins, you got to consider that. And you really, I would say, consider that hugely because, another thing you have to do with is he has left with just about this guy's, like, for instance, you can't really get rid of an offensive coordinator and everything's fine. We know Ben McAdoo this guy. You know what I mean? And we did it last year. All that left Jeff Nixon was doing was calling Brady's plays in his stead while he was gone. You know what I mean? So give him another season. Let him get his own staff. Sign him about maybe a two-year deal. See what he does. And I guarantee you, I like what I see so far. I'm not. What could it hurt? We're doing a lot better than we've done in the past. We still have some type of hope that we definitely didn't have last year. And we definitely didn't have a few weeks ago. Y'all keep pounding. Peace.
Look, I feel like I'm always dominating them. I don't want to over-dominate the mic. I have a real opinion on this. Is that
do it?
Well, my position on field goal kickers over the podcast and people, they get mad at me a lot of times when I do this, is that a kicker misses a field goal at the end of the game and you say they lost the game for us. I like to phrase it as this: is they didn't win the game. They had the moment that they could have gone out and been the hero. Mm-hmm. They had the opportunity to win. So they didn't lose the game for us. They didn't win it. And I think that right now, Steve Wilks hasn't won the job. He hasn't lost it. And I agree with the caller. Look, he's in a bad, he's taken over. He's done some really good things where last week I thought he was kicking the field goal. He kicked the field goal at the end of last week and made the field goal. This week, he missed the field goal. It was an opportunity to win for him to step closer into that job. The scary thing I have about that idea of just give him another season is, doesn't that just kind of put you into a perpetual cycle of not really giving anybody real faith anyway? I feel like, what if he didn't have a good season last year, but you go, hey, he didn't have any play, are you just in the same conversation each year of saying, we didn't give him enough time. So I just want to believe in the guy we hire. I think if Steve Wilks and this team would have gone out and won this game today, it would have been a lot easier for us to just give our stamp, a rubber stamp, Steve Wilks into the future. But right now, we had the stamper. We were ready to rubber stamp him in, and we were like, you know what? We might just set this over here for a minute.
Well, can I ask you then, Tony, is there anything besides record that can give you that confidence that Steve Wilks is the guy?
No.
So it's just record, basically. It's basically how
because
he ends up with the game.
what can he
That's
really
fine.
do? Is like you're making basically it's this is we gave you chicken shit.
Mm-hmm.
We asked you to make chicken salad,
mm-hmm.
and now it's either chicken salad or it's chicken shit. Like I'm going to take a bite of the sandwich, and it's going to either be chicken salad or it's going to be chicken. Like he has an impossible task, but the only pathway to victory is victory.
But it's like you just said earlier. Like, what if we have 3 games left? What if we win 2 and lose 1, and we fall just short of winning the playoffs? But the one game
That's
lose,
still record.
What if?
And I would say that would be a reasonable conversation.
What if the one game we lose in overtime, and everybody in the team has played well, and we are clicking on all cylinders? Didn't you say that like the difference in a loss if you're losing like that or getting blown out is different?
If we finish 7 wins, I do think we have to have a conversation really about Steve Wilks being the coach. So I still think it's record. If we finish with 5 wins, I think that conversation is a little bit more difficult to be just like you have to really reach into the well of optimism.
Okay.
If we lose
you're
out
not
for
saying
the rest,
impossible, just a lot more difficult. Okay.
No, you just gotta win.
Hey, what's the saying? You are what your record says you are.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the truth. You know.
He's got a bad hand. He's been dealt a bad hand, right? Like you can either overplay your hand or you get beat. And he's been overplaying his hand to this point in a good way. And so like now after today, though, he's going to have to play some good, today was a missed opportunity. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
think about what the conversation. Think about the alternate conversation we would be having right now if you just reverse the scores.
Yeah.
Simply just reverse the number of the scores, and then what is the conversation we are having as Carolina Panther fans? Gritty win at home, wasn't pretty, won the time of possession. Like we didn't win the time of possession. If you just flip the game a little bit, that one thing, and we're sitting here going, Steve Wilks has really changed the culture here. He's got these players believing in themselves. And we're really thinking not only is this team slated to win the division, but really potentially make some noise in the playoffs. And we are not having that conversation right now.
Joe Burrow just got sacked for like 45 yards.
Jeez. All right, let's go to the next call.
Hey, C3. This is 910 Panther fan, a.k.a. Kyle. Calling from Wilmington. Love the show. Obviously, very disappointing loss today. I don't know what else to say about it, other than it was just fucking disappointing. As far as like y'all are talking about coordinators and stuff, if we can get a coordinator that doesn't call plays that has Sam Darnold throwing behind the line of scrimmage or running for it when he shouldn't, clearly, or giving him at least the option to make his own fucking decision because we know he can't do that. I don't know. But defense, I don't know. Hopefully they show up next week. All right. Love y'all. Keep pounding. Subscribe, like, keep on putting out that wonderful content, guys.
And thank you so much. It's
Appreciate
glad
you, brother.
We need to hear that you guys enjoy the show. It gives us more energy to keep going, especially in difficult circumstances and times. I just had something cool to say about this team, and then I lost it. Next call.
So it's JJ back real quick. I just want to say, shout out DJ Moore. This man finally got above 4 touchdowns in a season in his career. It only took until year 5,
Oh yeah.
Baby steps. No, I'm playing. But I love DJ. My favorite player. Damn right, I made a call just for him. Shout out DJ Moore. God, we all know it. Love him. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding. Can we talk about that? Early in this game, Sam Darnold and DJ Moore made one of the most beautiful throw catch combos I've ever for the Carolina Panthers. That was freaking incredible. Sam rolls out to the right. He's evading pressure, runs all the way to the sideline, throws a BB to the bottom right pylon, and DJ Moore gets his hands on it, feet in bounds, touchdown. That was absolutely beautiful. It was an incredible throw by Sam Darnold. I think it was an even better catch by DJ Moore. That was crazy, son. That was absolutely crazy. I think DJ Moore continues to show that he's a receiver. We just need to get a full season with a consistent quarterback that can get him the ball in the right kind of way, and DJ Moore is going to thrive. Another thing that I took from this game, guys, TJ Moore, Terrace Marshall Jr., his stock goes up and up
every week
and
every
up
week
and up. And we forget that this guy ran a low 4.4 at the combine, like a 4.42 or something like that. And he's 6'3".
He should have made that catch though.
This dude is a presence. He is a burner. He can put people behind
He's
him.
big.
He's big. He's strong. Like
He's what we wanted in Kelvin Benjamin.
The
Like-
sky
he's
is
like
still
what we
the
wanted in Devin
limit.
Funches.
The sky is still the limit in Terrace Marshall Jr.
I agree. That's been my happiest thing coming out of the Rule era was Terrace Marshall Jr.'s just existence in life. Right. I know what I was gonna say earlier is look, today, you guys going back to that pass for Sam Darnold to DJ Moore. I mentioned earlier in the show that what did I say?
Why is Russell? No, my bad.
Oh.
Why is Russell Wilson not playing? Is he hurt?
Concussion.
Yeah, concussion.
He sucks. I don't know.
Oh, my
Yeah,
bad.
both. Both. No, so that talking about that pass from Sam Darnold to DJ Moore earlier on, I said that this was each week I'm waiting for that opportunity where Sam Darnold conquers his true adversary, right? Like his true hurdle that he has to overcome, which is himself and his belief. I think it's a confidence issue because he has the physical skill set to play the game. So not only confidence, but some of it is just reps for us, right? So the first 2 weeks, just rusty, your game, catching up to the speed, not playing, just get more familiar. But right now, what Sam Darnold has to do as a player, and this is probably not going to happen in Carolina at this point, is pierce through or defeat his fear of himself. And every moment you think he's about to do it, he doesn't.
Yeah.
And this today, that pass, that play, I thought was, look, we were down 7, right? Or we were down 14. We were down in that game, right? They came out and scored already. You really feel like we need to put some points up. The coverage breaks down. Sam's under duress, like where you think he's about to get sacked. He rolls, he escapes it just by a hair, rolls out, and makes an exceptional play. And you're like, this is the moment. This is the game that Sam conquers his fear. And then after that, it didn't happen. But it was my wife, she looked at me and she said, what, you don't get excited about touchdowns anymore? Because I didn't cheer. I was like just laying and lounging, watching it. And I was like, I don't even know if it's a touchdown. It's so good. I couldn't tell. Like when I was watching it, I was like, that maybe, yeah. It was the play though that could resurrect Sam, and then he didn't. Crazy.
But look, man,
mobility, intangible, a rocket, bringing you back. DJ's getting excited. Like everything is there. The ingredients are there, and you just forgot to put salt in the water or whatever when you're making the pasta.
Yeah. By the way, the Bengals scored a touchdown. They failed to get the 2-point conversion, so it's 12 to 17 Tampa Bay. So
that play, man, that play. Just need a couple more of those.
Yeah,
just a couple more of those. And you're right. Look, and going back to Sam Darnold, I don't want to hear the Baker Mayfield right now. Is that Sam Darnold to me has outplayed every quarterback on this team.
Sure.
I hate saying that about PJ because PJ had that incredible, he had some moments, but I really feel like Sam has pushed the ball well, moved. I don't know. He's got mobility. He's run the ball effectively. Terrace Marshall Jr. should have came down with that ball. Thankfully, they got the pass interference, though. Because if you don't get that, then we would but gosh, I don't know. We need more offense. We need more offense.
I don't think there was much to
it. Hey. You know who the fuck it is. Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka!
This is the real one.
Where should I begin? Let me take a sip of my brew.
Put on your flame suits.
Fake ass fucking Panther fans. Only showing up when we fucking win. Y'all are a bunch of fucking bitches. Tony, let this shit play out. I got a lot to say, brother. I got a lot to fucking say. The Panther fans that became Panther fans because of the 2015 season. Y'all are a disgrace. Y'all are bacteria. Y'all are the shit underneath my big toe. Y'all are a bunch of fucking bitches.
Damn.
Y'all make me fucking sick. Sick to my fucking stomach, bro. Let's start on this fucking game, man. What did I tell you guys? When they find out all we do is run and they stop the run, the fucking wheels are going to fucking fall off.
Yep.
Where are you bitches are? Oh my God, I got a lot to fucking say. Let me begin with CK. You make me fucking sick. D'Onta Foreman's better than fucking Christian McCaffrey. Motherfucker, please. And for that, you're fucking fired. Tony, where's the application? Where's the fucking application at? He's fucking fired. He's out of there, bruh. The worst take in Panther history, bruh. So don't ever fucking have Christian McCaffrey's name in your fucking mouth when they're in the fucking playoffs and he's fucking rushing to a fucking Super Bowl, bro. Keep his fucking name out your fucking mouth.
Uh-oh. I missed the
You
beginning.
make me fucking sick. And Greg, I'm not going to get on your ass like that because I owe you $100.
I got you, man. Double enough. I got you in the double enough.
$100. Your ass be getting it too. And anybody that listens to Cody laugh when it comes to fucking film study, when it comes to college football, fucking the dude don't know what the fuck he's talking about, bro. Doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'll give you the Trevor Lawrence. He played fucking great today. But is that going to continue, Cody Lack? Is it going to continue? We will see. Now we got Detroit. Detroit's what, averaging 20 to fucking 30 points a game? Top 3 in scoring? Are we going to go out there and drop 30 points on these bitch-ass niggas? That's to be continued. I guess we're going to fucking wait and see, right? Hey, where's you fucking Dante fucking Jackson haters at, you fucking bitches? Where's you CJ Henderson haters at, you fucking...
Hey, once again, CJ Henderson, listen, I love Dante Jackson. CJ Henderson's backup player not playing well doesn't make me love CJ Henderson anymore. It doesn't make his stats any better.
He ran out of time. You're right, Greg.
It doesn't make his stats any better. His backup played worse.
Really was entertained by G Baby in the beginning. I feel like he just every time G Baby calls, I feel like CK just like takes a mental nap.
Man, I tell you what, like honestly. So the funny thing is, again, we've already had this discussion about D'Onta Foreman. It was a garbage game, but this was a incredible indictment on this offensive line's performance today. And the fact that exactly what G Baby said, when they sold out to stop the run, we did it. Now, at the end of the day, I said last week and this week that there was a bit of a dip, and I've even acknowledged that that Christian McCaffrey's had an incredible few weeks there with the 49ers. But as a pure rusher with year's hold on, with as a pure just a rushing running back up until that point, D'Onta Foreman had better numbers with the exact same offensive line. That was my argument from the get-go. And when you looked and seen what Christian McCaffrey was doing, he was not running the ball well. And the funny thing is when you start running the ball more, these guys get more yards, right? Well, how many times did Deontay Foreman get the ball today? So you can't put that on Deontay Foreman. You can put all of that. I mean, listen, this is still an indictment on everybody, but Deontay Foreman didn't perform well. The entire offensive line performed at the bottom, unfortunately below average today. And we want to sit there. I know we want to talk about how good this offensive line is, but you have to take that into consideration as well. And let's be real about it.
They're out of their minds, G Baby. All three of them. I'm with G Baby on this one.
But we don't even have to read it. No, how about this? You were stopping me and Greg from doing the Sam Baker thing. No, I gotta stop Foreman CMC thing. This is a dead end.
I don't want to We're not relitigating it. We're not relitigating. I'm just saying it's not fair for G Baby to only call out CK when all three of these guys on the panel with me. I can't fire everybody.
All out on something though, right?
What if I fired all of you right now? It would just be listening to me, and then this show would go down in flames. I can't carry the load like CMC could if he was.
Oh wow!
Let's go to the next
Daddy
call.
Boy toy if you did that.
I don't know where I was cut off at, but this shall continue. A lot of y'all are a bunch of bitches. I'm just calling how I see it.
I love it, man.
I do too.
Now we got to go. What is that game here in Carolina? It don't matter, bro. Our fans don't fucking show up. Our fans don't show up, y'all. Oh my god, bro. Y'all made me fucking sick. Cam, I'm so fucking heartbroken because everything that has led up to this point has been just a fucking nightmare to me. It's been genuinely a fucking nightmare. And the way we treated, in my opinion, the greatest Panther of all time, Cam Newton, and for us to be in this position, it's just...
He's not wrong,
bro.
At that point, yeah.
It's really sad. And Brian Burns, you fucking hoe. You fucking made me sick as well. What do you do, bro? Can someone on the panel tell me what does Brian Burns do besides get outshined by fucking TJ Watt in fucking Bank of America?
Who was that other guy, though?
TJ Watt wrecked that fucking game. That's what a elite pass rusher looks like.
Highsmith being
someone that can take over the fucking game the entire game. But y'all want to turn around and pay this light in the ass 3-4 defensive end that's not even in the right scheme. Dude, Brian Burns, we don't even put him in the right scheme. He's not even in the right scheme, bro. Brian Burns, go eat some fucking meat. Gain some fucking weight, bro. You're in the NFL. God damn. Getting pushed around like a bitch by tight ends, bro. But you want to come over here and you're going to come turn to me and ask for a fucking bag, bro? You got, what, 10.5, 11 sacks? You know what? Brian Burns is no better than Mario fucking Addison. You heard it here first. Go pull up Mario Addison's fucking stats. Mario Addison was a better football player than fucking Brian Burns, bro. Go pull up the fucking stats. And let me get back at Cody Lack for shitting on fucking James Bradbury. CK, I've been shitting on you, but right now I need you to shit on him for that dumb shit. Shitting on James Bradbury. What the fuck is wrong with you? A motherfucker that shut down the NFC South his entire 10-year career, including his rookie fucking season, bro.
Yeah, right.
I love James.
I'm coming out, you baby pickle. Where the fuck are you at?
Mm-hmm.
JD living over in heaven, Hawaii. Where the fuck are you at, bro?
G-Baby's like fighting with your wife.
Man, you know who the fuck this is, and I'm calling back.
G-Baby is like fighting with your wife. That's what I say is that I want to remind, he said that James Bradbury stopped all the NFC South. I don't know if you guys do remember, which I'm a James Bradbury fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's a guy that can do it by himself. I think he's a great dude to have as part of your unit. If you guys remember, it was the game that Cam's shoulder got destroyed
against Pittsburgh,
right? Yeah, you know that that they came out. We came out and scored early touchdown in that game. Christian McCaffrey came out, ran the ball down, then they scored, I think, or something. But then we get the ball back, and this is where Cam threw this like stupid, crazy. He did a pick six. He was going like he was getting sacked. He threw it up. They did a pick six. So we get the ball back though because they scored. deep in our zone. He they threw like a Juju Smith-Schuster had like a 96-yard touchdown on James Bradbury because he blew the cut, like he just missed. He just like misread everything. So it's just interesting how the Pittsburgh game brings back these memories. But the reason I say that G baby is like arguing with your wife is every time I get in an argument with my wife over something that I've done wrong, which is a lot of times, she then though brings back the past wrongs.
Yeah.
that we've already made up for.
You've either already won or lost that fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we've already had those moments, like, and we've fought and we've gotten through it. We did our mea culpas, but I got to apologize now for an apology that I've already made 15 years ago. And I mean, like, and she goes deep into the well, bro. She'll be like this, receipts. You know, I'm like, wait, we've already worked through that. And that's where the Cam part is. Going back to Cam Newton in this call right here. You know, that's just I guess what we're gonna do until we have a quarterback.
Well, and you know, part of his call too was talking about the Watt and Burns thing, and he does raise a good point.
Yeah.
The caller earlier said that we brought up that, like, you know, Watt is that guy that's the top 3 to 5 player in the NFL. This right here was Watt versus Burns, and Burns didn't show up like Watt did. So maybe Burns, like I said, is maybe just top 10. He's a good guy. Maybe
by the way,
the whole time.
You know?
By the way, I have an update. The Bengals are up 3 points on Tampa Bay.
Yeah, just scored.
All right, here we go.
All right, this is Drew. I don't call in very much, but I have to call in and talk about this. I'm sorry. Nick, 6 games, 6 losses. Stay out of Bank of America. Stay away from Panthers games. Watch them at home on TV. As far as the rest of these Panther fans go, I'm sorry. I am sick and tired of these unrealistic expectations that you so-called have. You think you're the Steelers or Patriots, and, we deserve the best. Quit looking for the next big thing. You've got a good head coach in Steve Wilks. Let the man do his thing and really just absolutely try to build this team the way it needs to be built. My son is sitting here wanting to talk on the phone too, and I can't let him talk right now, but I'm sorry. He had to sit there and watch this trash of a game today at 3 years old, and I'm sorry. It's ridiculous. They had a bad game. The offensive defensive line got exposed. They got bullied. This man needs an offseason in order to build this team the way he needs to build it. You want to bring him in the middle of the season when you're 1-6 and you're like, we're looking at the top pick in the draft. And now he's got us talking about meaningful football in the month of December, which we haven't had since Ron freaking Rivera. If you want to keep doing this, then go back to Matt Rule. Call Matt Rule up in Nebraska. Tell him you want his forgiveness and bring him back to Charlotte. I'm sick and tired of, we want the next big thing. We want the next big thing. Get over yourself and quit doing the same fucking thing over and over again and let this man do what he came here to do. He loves Charlotte. He loves the Panthers. He wants to build this thing into a winning franchise. Let him do it and quit looking for the next 10 to come in the door and save your asses.
Man. Drew with the fire right there, man.
All right, so he wants Steve Wilks. We'll take that away. I feel like this is that this is like we just got put in timeout as Panther fans. Like he put his kid in timeout. It's like this is what it feels like to be a timeout kid. You can't talk on the phone. He named his kid Cam and then said, you can't get on the C3 Panthers podcast. Nope, you go sit over there and be miserable. You're a Panthers fan for life.
You think he's a fan?
Yeah, he's a real fan. He's a true fan.
Just fumbled the ball again.
Again?
Bengals recovered it in the 40-yard line. Yep.
Oh my
on
goodness.
Their own 40.
Let's go. Hey man, we're not out of it, boys. Let's go.
Like I said, if the Bucks lose, we're in the same spot we were in. We woke up this morning.
All right, next call.
Last call. Can we please put Jeremy Chin back at fucking linebacker?
I've been saying this, dude.
Steve Wilks, you said he has the potential to be a Hall of Fame All-Pro safety. I don't know if you said Hall of Fame, but you said All-Pro. Can we please put Jeremy Chin back at fucking outside linebacker, G? Please.
That's all I'm asking.
Oh,
Our
that was on
linebackers
Brady.
fucking
That was
suck.
on Brady, that fumble.
They fucking suck.
Last one was too.
Can we put him close to the line so he can fucking make plays like he did the year before?
Yo, this whole cat call segment is about G-Baby.
J.C. Horn, can you learn how to tackle?
He's got to go after the usual suspects.
God, man.
He's just got to go.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to fucking Terrence Marshall Jr. I've been shitting on you your entire 10-year career with Carolina. You got potential, brother. You got potential to be great. And I don't say that about a lot of motherfuckers, man. But if you can get your hands together and we can get you in a great system with a new coordinator and have you behind fucking DJ and get you Bryce motherfucking Young.
That ain't happening now.
David Tepper, hey, bruh, go all in, bruh. Trade the house. Go get the fucking Steph Curry of fucking football.
Hold on.
Let's be smart here. We don't have a fucking QB, bruh. We fucking suck. And I'm done, man. Greg, I need to get your information. I owe you $100, bro. Can I get this
man.
to you,
We're
bro?
going, hey, I'll put it on record. We're going
Please.
double or nothing.
Why
That
talk
Carolina
I
wins
owe
the
you
NFC
$100.
South.
Can I get this shit to you, bro?
He's got a lot of
KG,
people.
I owe you
don't think he's trying to
$100.
make
Can I please
bets
get
right
this
now.
shit to you, bro?
Double or nothing. Carolina wins the NFC South. G-Baby. I got you. Okay. Double
Low.
or nothing.
I supposedly owe you $100. Can you send me a screenshot so I can get this money to you, bro?
Hey, he's a man of his word.
Me, man.
He is, man.
Fuck you,
That's a
baby.
man right there. He's owning up to what he bet. That's a man right there.
Man, he's like,
So,
damn, I knew I have
hey,
4 more to go, but
Can
God,
I say? Can I ask though?
Low key guy.
Did he just say trade the whole house to get Bryce Young? Because didn't he get mad at Cody for saying trade the whole house to get Trevor Lawrence?
I don't know if
But
he did.
Cody,
He's
but
saying,
Cody, if he did, you got to keep in mind Cody doesn't know film, so
yeah.
True.
Well, what
true.
he's saying
True.
is
I
he
don't know
thinks
why
that
that-
Bryce Young is going to be fantastic.
I get
So
that,
he's
and maybe
saying
he will be. I get
go
that. Yeah.
for him. I wish I would. I wanted to know who the player comp is for Terrace Marshall Jr.
Julio
He reminds
Jones.
me of Plaxico. He reminds me of Plaxico Burris. That's who I see when I see him. Masin Muhammad, maybe.
That's not a bad one. Plaxico.
Moose is a good one. Yeah. A good number 2 receiver. How about that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
Plaxico is the
two
one.
receiver.
Plaxico is the one that shot himself in the leg while sitting in the booth.
Plax had some bad moments, man, but he was fucking awesome, dude. He was really good at football. He has 2 bad moments. The one is coming out of the club. And you're in New York, you can't have handguns on your person at all, I don't think. Like, there's no legal way for you to be in the club with a gun. And he was walking down the steps, and it fell down his sweatpants and went off and shut his. That's how I heard it was. And then the other one is he had this big catch, his first catch in the NFL. It's like a big time 30-yard catch or something, you know what I'm saying? And he gets up and does the first down, and nobody had touched him. So he just left the ball because he's used to playing college football where you're down because he caught the ball and bumped and like stumbled. And so he gets up and celebrates it. And then they take the football and run it back. That was like, so Plaxico has these 2 bonehead moments that many people think represent what he truly was behind the eyeballs or between the ears. But I always loved Plaxico Burris. Also played for the Steelers.
Hey, you guys, this is me,
Daryl
Hardy.
What?
Everybody's wanting to. Everybody's threatening to call in and leave 3 calls because G Baby did.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Raleigh, North Carolina. Just wanted to say one glaring thing that I have noticed in this game, that I noticed in our first game against the Falcons, and that I noticed against the Cincinnati Bengals. When it comes to opposing teams running the football and they attack the edge of our defense, we are horrible. And it really exposes the weakness at the defensive end position when it comes to stopping the running game.
In terms of our linebackers today, we were hesitating when we were reading what the offense was doing. So I was very disappointed today with how we defended against the running game. It was just horrible. And as a team, we're just not successful when our defense gives up over 150 yards rushing. We're just not. Anywho, I'm going to stay positive, keep pounding, and you guys be blessed.
Yeah, I mean, they beat us. They beat us in a way that we have been advertising we are going to try to beat teams. Right? Is that Cody has been over here drinking the juice on this offensive line, and we're like, oh, people are now. You guys are the all three of you are on this whatever crazy drug that's out for these kids today that makes you think Deontay Foreman is a better running back than Christian McCaffrey.
Nobody said that, Tony.
Rusher of the ball. Rusher of the ball.
Yeah,
rusher of the ball. I would say this is not better at anything. But what I'm saying is that this is the type they beat us the way we want to believe we can beat teams. And the fact that the caller brought up that we couldn't stop the run today was the biggest problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it eliminated the entire third quarter. Najee Harris covered his prize pick number like in the first quarter. You know, so I mean, like they ran the ball down our throat, and it was just right up the gut. They just ran right up the middle. So that's how we are supposed to beat teams. And they beat us at our own game.
Okay. You want me to bring it? I'll bring it. Scott Fitterer, you want to play GM? Get off your fucking ass and be a good damn GM. What you have to wait till you have to wait till a Saturday or late Friday before you can realize you'll go, geez, we need to draft a linebacker. Fucking moron. What you do? You go sign Wilson or you sign Littleton and say, let's do a little bit of fucking Seattle, bitch. Once your ass goes back to fucking Seattle, you fucking miserable piece of shit. Ben McAfuck, won't you pack your shit up and go back to New York? You miserable piece of fucking garbage. You are the reason this team sucks. Well, I tell you what, better yet, why don't you go to fucking Nebraska with your bitch friend, okay, and enjoy yourself, some college boys, because you damn sure ain't no pro boy, okay? And by the way, let's call out this so-called wide receivers coach, that miserable piece of fucking Matt Rule wannabe bullshit. Who the fuck are you to think you know what the fuck you're doing? And people want to say Sam could have did this. Sam, by whose fucking orders? We only had 2 qualified wide receivers in this game today. Oh, now don't get me wrong. We had 5 active, but we only had 2 that actually know how to play wide receiver. We've got a bunch of morons running around there collecting a paycheck, act like what the fuck they doing. For the love of God, put Cody or CK out there and let them play wide receiver. You damn sure can't get no fucking worse. Put G-Baby out there and let him play wide receiver. We know it can't get worse than that. Because what we got, because let me tell you what. Because Higgins don't even play, so he don't fucking matter. Laviska Shenault isn't a wide receiver. He's a running back who's pretending to be a wide receiver because the people up there are too moronic to know what the fucking difference is. And Shi Smith makes about 1 play every 5 games. I guess you can call him a wannabe wide receiver. Okay?
Dude barely catches kicks.
And,
I don't want him catching balls.
Scouting department, won't y'all clock out and go to the fucking house? Fact is, won't you clock out and move to Saudi Arabia or somewhere else? Maybe you could do a better job there than you did here.
He
guess what? Let me break some news for y'all. If Steve Wilkes doesn't get this job, consider this a warning. David Pepper will not hire the next head coach if he doesn't have experience as a head coach. Okay, so you're not talking about the Eagles or the Lions OCs. They don't have experience being an NFL head coach, and Pepper ain't going that way. He did that way once. It fucked him.
in the middle of that call, Pickle did what I do all the time, where he's so angry or so passionate about something that you lose track of what you're what you're angry about. Like that was a passionate call right there.
I
for sure.
We
Asked
challenged
for it.
Pickle. I challenged him, and he brought it.
Yeah, we asked
He
for
brought
it.
it. I love that passion. Oh man, that's what makes this show so fun. Let's go to the next call.
Guys, it's the growl that makes him howl, a.k.a. Joey the Blind Panther. Feeling much better.
Good to hear.
Actually went to this game today, and I came away thinking that, like, we lost not because we were bad. We didn't look dumb. We didn't look like, oh my God, we really suck. Yeah, it wasn't like the Bengals game or the Ravens game. The Steelers committed to stopping the run, and they did. And they dared us to pass the ball, and we came somewhat close, but we didn't do it. We cannot beat them passing the ball. But as far as people saying, like, does this, like, what does this say about Steve Wilkes and all that stuff? Dude, I still feel the same way about Steve Wilkes as I did coming into this game. He needs to be the head coach because he kept Sam Darnold, like, Sam Darnold didn't actually, he didn't fold. Like, he played well. He didn't fold, like, when things are not going our way. He just kept on going. He kept his wits about him, which is something that if you don't have a coach that is a true leader like Steve Wilkes is, you're not going to get out of Sam Darnold. And I think that, the Steelers are just better. That's all. We really didn't look that bad. And could we go to the playoffs? Sure. But, we're going to win some and lose some. And I also think that this season is really a tale of two seasons. It's a tale of the first 5 weeks and the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because if you think of it, it's kind of like you have to disregard the Matt Rule era or the tail end of it. But you can't because it still counts as a record for this season. Anyway, guys. Wow.
This is glad you're feeling better, Joey. I'm sure that this game didn't help the recovery process in many ways. Your call made me think about something, though, and I want the callers to get on this. I want the chat to get on this. I'll ask Greg first. Today, did the Steelers offense beat our defense more than their defense beat our offense? Or vice versa? And do you understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, I get what you're asking.
I don't want to blame one or the other, but where was the bigger discrepancy on this team? Was it our defense or our offense?
It's a tough answer because honestly, our offense didn't play that bad. Our offense didn't play that bad, but they didn't play very well either. But their offense also was like 11 for 14 on third down, which is insane. Like, if you're going to win a game, third down is where you're going to win the games, like your third down plays. They were 11 for 14, I think, something like that. That's nuts. So, honestly, if I had to vote right now, if you put a gun to my head, I'd probably say their offense beat our defense worse than their defense.
I think that's the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chat room agrees.
How do you feel, Cody? Because I would point to this is that they won the time of possession, and time of possession is won by your offense.
Yep. They had a big
right?
20 drive.
They had a 75% third down efficiency rate.
Yeah.
That's an offense beating a defense. And it really and it just prevented our offense from having a chance to be an offense. We didn't run any plays, man. We ran 33 plays the whole
Right.
game or something like that.
Look, like Dr. Rosen says, they took an entire quarter from us. So if they do that, the only answer to this question is defense. The defense lost the game for us today. The offense was doing enough to put us in position. Now, if you want to say they didn't punch it in, yeah, that's a great question. I think the play calling was not good. But when your defense allows the opposing offense to have the ball for the entire third quarter, you were an abject failure on defense, and that's absolutely unacceptable.
Let me see. How do you look up
but I do
just the
wanna-
number of plays that we had?
What is this?
So
Yeah,
I wanted to
yeah,
ask a question real quick because it just seems weird to me. So we were watching this in the man cave, and we saw at the end of the third quarter that big long drive. That dude came into the huddle that was fucking weird as shit. It was whatever it was, and I don't know if that was the same one, but nonetheless,
You mean the Steeler player that
Yeah.
ran over to the huddle?
No, wait, I'm thinking about a different part. That was different. But yeah, there was one where he had taunting Jeremy Chin. They had gotten down to the 8-yard line. He got up and he stood
Deontay.
over top.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bring this up, CK. Yeah,
And it was a 15-yard penalty, right? So
Mhm.
it took them back to the 22-yard line. My issue is when he was at the 8-yard line, that's first and goal from the 8, right? He got the penalty after he was accomplishing the first and goal from the 8. The 15-yard penalty should be assessed from there, and it should be first and goal from the 22-yard line. They gave them a 1st and 10 from there. Am I wrong in that assessment? That seems like a pretty logical thing for any position of that, because a first and goal, or from the 22 is a much bigger punishment than a 1st and 10 from the 22. Like that just seems absolutely asinine. Does that not seem like a bit of a problem? Or if that's the way the rules are written, that's absolutely ridiculous.
I think you're 100% right. You brought this up in the man cave, like you said, and I didn't think about it at first, but yeah, I think you're right completely. And that changed the whole aspect of it. Because you're right, 1st and 22, 1st and goal from the 22 is way different than 1st and 10 from the 22. It's like a totally different ball game. It made a huge difference, and I can't believe nobody else said anything about it. Like, unless you're wrong or we're wrong, because I'm agreeing with you, so I'm gonna say we're wrong. I don't know why it wasn't like that, because it's a big deal.
I did. Well, if we were being overreactionary by saying, "Oh, Steve Wilkes is the guy, that's the head coach," if that was overreactionary, I just want to put it out there that I don't think any of us on this podcast are going the other direction and being overreactionary to this loss. That means because we lost, Steve Wilkes is no longer the man for the job.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
I don't
that-
feel like I'm in that
Yeah,
camp at all.
none of us do. I think that he still does a lot of things that the Panthers could use a lot more of. And
I
if
would
you-
actually, good.
No, I was gonna say if you give him another opportunity to build this team the way that he wants to next year, it might not be a bad thing for us. But what I will say, and this is just being fair, it can't be one of those things where regardless of what happens, we give him the job. He has to have a good performance down the stretch.
I think
not get blown out, be competitive. It's time to be a competitive football team, and if he doesn't do that, I think it's going to be hard to retain him.
I think one of the things that maybe today makes me wonder more about is if Steve Wilkes comes as in the head coach, will Al Holcomb be the defensive coordinator? I'm going to start thinking about these guys have to. Holcomb's got to prove a lot too. If Steve Wilkes is going to go and fill out I don't think Ben McAdoo is going to be the coordinator. And this defense is going to have to play better to the end of the year for me to say, man, I feel good about Wilkes just assembling the guys, his guys, and Al Holcomb being his dude.
Oh, Tom Brady just threw an interception. But the
There's
Bengals
still
up
11 minutes. There's still 12 minutes
27-17.
left, but yeah, it's looking pretty good for.
Wow,
for
dude!
Cincinnati.
I can't
Hey,
believe that
He's
that
done.
even
He's
after
turned the ball
today,
over a ton this year.
even
Tony,
after today, we're still alive in this, man.
you were asking earlier, total plays: Pittsburgh 68, Carolina 43, Pittsburgh 325 yards, Carolina 209, Pittsburgh 22 first downs, Carolina 12.
They had
third down
twice as many. Not twice as many. They had what? I guess 20 more, 24 more, 26 more offensive plays.
Well, what's funny is yards per play. Pittsburgh 4.8, Carolina 4.9. We had almost the same yards per play.
Yeah.
156 yards rushing for them, 21 yard for us. They had 7 penalties for 81 yards, which I didn't really see in the game. We had 5 for 40. I felt like we had a lot more penalties. No turnovers in the game at all. They had 36 minutes of possession, and we had 23-49. So,
Man, that's what it is. They had one drive that had 21 plays. They had one drive that was 50% of our offensive production today. You know, I mean, I mean, that's like, you know, who's over there going like, Ron Rivera's over there with his arms folded going, good job to the Steelers today. That's how you win a football game.
Mm-hmm.
This is Ron Rivera's wet dream of a football game.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you beat teams, man. It's like, oh, the only way we could have been better is if we took 2 quarters away from them motherfuckers.
All right.
Next call.
What's up? This is White Chocolate Espresso. I want to call and make something perfectly clear. I want Steve Wilkes as his next Panthers coach. He is my number one option. He should be considered no matter how the season plays out for that position. But to say locked, sealed, nothing can go wrong, he should automatically get this job. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. That's like, you know, if Matt Rule, there's like a bad girlfriend who doesn't put out. Like, she just doesn't put out whatsoever. And for 2.5 years, we've had blue balls. And we finally broke up with her. And we hook up with this chick, Steve Wilkes, and she puts out. And now we're ready to go out and buy a fucking diamond ring for her.
Yeah, you found the girl who watched porn with you.
Give it some time. Interview your candidates. And then decide. Steve Wilkes is still my number one choice. If he goes if he wins 3 to 4 games this year, for the rest of the year, I'll say lock it in. But if he loses out, I'm still considering him, but he's probably not my number one option. Sorry, not sorry. If Jim Harbaugh wants to come here, I don't care if you say, oh, Carolina's a top head coaching job. Nobody wants to come to Carolina.
Ooh, I want
Bullshit.
Harbaugh.
This is the NFL. This is not college football.
Which one?
It's a head coaching job. You pay. Tepper will pay. Trust me. You've seen it. He will pay. But to me, Steve Wilkes is still my number one option. If the season ends with us going undefeated, stamp it. If it doesn't, I'm not going to put a stamp to it, but I'm still not going to not hire him. But to say, oh, I won't even consider Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh, I don't care.
I can't ever get him right. I just call him Harbaugh.
Like, no, you consider it. You're not going to shut the resume up. You're not shut the door on him when he has his resume in his hand when he come here. But yeah, Steve Wilkes is still my number one option. Peace.
I think it's
and to be fair, I agree with Kev there, man. Like, and I'm to the point where I want Steve Wilkes, and I still think he's the guy. But it's almost not fair to not even look at other people, right? Isn't that kind of the point? Like, you just got to look at other people.
There would have been a lot. Well, yeah, you have to do that no matter
Yeah,
what.
that's kind of the
But
point, right, of the rule.
would
You've
have
got to
been a
look at
lot
other people.
harder had he won today. Wilkes, you know, he had the opportunity to kick the game-winning field goal, and he didn't. So the application's getting harder. Harbaugh is an interesting character. I mean, I am intrigued by this idea. I mentioned his name several times in the past. I know people say, you know, David Tepper might not want to deal with a college coach, but this isn't the regular trajectory of a guy who hasn't been in the NFL and had success. This is kind of like a Pete Carroll trajectory, right? Is guys that started or like had NFL like experience, then they go back to college, then they come back to the NFL. you got to wonder what Harbaugh's time in Michigan has done to change or add to his complexity as an individual. Has it helped him, to better work with people, and he's going to return to the NFL? That's the name that's intriguing to me. Then you got to start wondering what type of coach could work. I think we're at the point where we probably need to start asking is what kind of coach personality does David Tepper like? Does he need a yes man? Are we going to get a wet noodle now? Because maybe Matt Rule just told you what you wanted to hear. Are we going to get a wet noodle coach? Or are we going to get somebody who is going to be willing to do whatever he wants? Like that's too abrasive, that way, those are all, gosh, personality means so much when it comes to hiring these guys. I like Harbaugh though.
Hey guys, Chuck from Elizabeth City, aka Carolina Sports Guy. They do it to us every time, don't they? They get our hopes up. We think things are going to go well, and I guess a couple things wear on me. It's not the losing here; it's losing to Pittsburgh and that stupid ass piece of shit, fat ass, overweight, and I'm talking about the women, not just the men. Fan base to drive from West Charlotte or where they freaking come from out of the hills. I can't stand Pittsburgh, and I really hate their freaking obnoxious fans. To lose to them son of bitches a day, taking their stadium, I hate it. I can't stand them. And this was our time to get them, guys, because they really are sucking eggs, and we blew it. Another thing that was so bad is losing the Mitch
Sucking eggs.
Piece of shit, second overall pick. It's a poor, useful quarterback. It's his first win ever against us game, if you remember, 17-3 Chicago, and really they had no offense. It was all defense for the Bears that game. And here's Trubisky beating us again. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. Now, I'm ready to hang up my head, and if Tampa Bay loses today, we're still in it. But here's what we got. What I want to see, this is really going to determine to me if Wilkes gets this job, what he does against Detroit. Detroit's hot. And Detroit's playing well. If we lay an egg against Detroit, no matter what else happens, maybe Wilkes ain't the guy. But if Wilkes can come in and beat a very hot Detroit team at home, it's how you bounce back, guys. You're going to drop games sometimes. If he can win against Detroit and put us on par to play Tampa Bay in the next to the last game for a shot at the division, I can still believe. But I really want to see how he does preparing this team coming off this loss.
Yeah.
I think we watched Tom Brady die before our face last week, and I don't think anything has changed this week.
Yeah. No, it's
yeah.
Like it's if you guys saw this last play, and well, not last, I mean, who knows where y'all's feet are at, but it set up the 3rd and 7. It was 2nd and 7 deep. He's dropping into the end zone to throw it. He throws it to a running back who, he throws it before the guy turns around, right? Like, so he's like trying to anticipate everything. The guy turned the other way. The ball was the other. It was still the most dangerous pass. Like that, it almost seems like now Tom Brady's so bad, like it's like about to just implode. That could have been a pick 6 right there. He's had 4 takeaways today, and that's a pick 6 you're throwing.
And he's just getting hit all over the place, dude.
Well, this is how deceiving things can be, though. Is like we're saying Tom Brady's having a bad game. Their running game's not doing well, like great today, and they've scored 1 more point than we did. And we said that Sam Darnold had a fantastic game. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Looking at things on face value is not necessarily the best thing. That's what I'm saying.
A fantastic game. But he also didn't have 4 turnovers.
Brady has right now. You're right.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
You're omitting a bunch of other stats too, and a bunch of other factors.
That's why I'm saying looking at things at face value doesn't always.
His passer rating was like he's right now 3 games in without being asked to do a whole lot, except for today he was asked to do more. He's got the best passer rating of any quarterback we've had on the field in the past 3 years.
Sammy D. I just think it's interesting. I thought that the Tom Brady implosion talk was premature earlier in the season, but last week I was converted. I was like, man, I think it's just over.
Yeah.
And this week is not changing my opinion.
Different.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to win the NFC South. Everybody wants to lose it rather than win it.
That's the truth. All right. We're down to the last two calls.
Yo, what's good, C3? It's JD864. I'm calling in response to the question that Tony just posed about whether the Steelers' defense beat our offense or did their offense beat our defense. My answer to that is definitely their offense beating our defense more so than their defense beating our offense, because the strength of our team is the defense. A few weeks back, I want to say maybe a week after Wilt took over as the interim head coach, there's a clip that the Panthers posted where he says that the speed of the pack is determined by the speed of the leader. Well, we apply that to the team. The leader of the position, the side of the ball, if you will, that's the defense. That's the strength of our team. The defense, when the defense does its job, we're in a much better position to win games. And today, our defense got punched in the mouth. They weren't able to get out off the field on third down. And that, in turn, allowed the fucking Steelers to do what it is that they went out and did. Offensively, I said it earlier, Sam played a damn good game. So if anybody's talking about how Sam played a damn good game, that's coming from somebody who has not been a huge Sam Darnold fan. I said it previously. I believe, talk all the shit you want about McAdoo. McAdoo is a part of the reason why Sam is actually playing fairly fucking well. So, yeah, the defense, our defense definitely was the culprit in this game. Like I said earlier, our offensive line chose a bad time to have a bad game, but they put out more good film than they put out bad. And you have Sam, who kept his composure, playing well after being sacked 4 times. All that being said, this team is still positioned to make noise. They're still positioned to do good things. I'm one of those people that want Wilts to be the head coach. I understand there's a process they got to go through, but Wilts should be the head coach. You don't take over a team that's 1-4 and have them out there playing good football. Yeah, the division isn't great, but he took over a team that wasn't going anywhere. Like they were dead to rights, and he had those guys out there playing. Today was a bad game. Bad games happen. Again, under Wilts, I've seen more good out of this team than I've seen bad. So, yeah. Hey, again, appreciate what you guys do. Love the show. Always supporting it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you guys haven't, keep pounding with C3, all right?
Keep pounding, JD. Yo, JD's been like the voice of reason for a long time now, man.
He's the voice of optimism.
Optimism, but he also makes some good points too, man. It's like you can't be completely out on Steve Wilkes after today. It was a bad performance, but it wasn't even as bad as the Cincinnati loss. You know, and that apparently everybody had the flu. So I don't know. Listen, right now, looking at Tampa Bay, looking at New Orleans being trash, they beat the Falcons today, but so what? We've got to take a licking and keep on kicking, man. Like it's not over, and now we got to look forward to the Detroit Lions, man. Did they beat the Jets, or did the Jets pull it out?
I think they beat them. I don't think.
Greg, look that up for me, please.
Here's the one thing is every time I look at, as we're talking about Tom Brady and watching him, every time I look at him since he's in Tampa and he puts
Jets
the
won. Sorry.
Oh, the Jets
won.
2017 Jets won. Yeah.
Wow. Nice. That's
so
good
they
for
had
us.
a bad performance.
With Zach
We
Wilson.
had a bad performance.
No, I'm sorry. No. Detroit
I
won. I apologize.
Yeah,
Detroit won 2017. Yeah.
Lions. Yeah, the Lions won.
Lions
so that
won.
means they're still good. Every time I look at Tom Brady in those Bucks colors, and he puts the jacket, it's cold in the cold weather, I always think of Bison from Street Fighter. Like I don't know why. It's the color scheme. I just see him being like that dictator. That's just what I just thought of as I was watching that. Cool. All right, let's go to the last call.
Hey y'all, this is Blair Bear Cookie Monster's wife.
Nice.
I just want to get on
Hey,
here
Blair.
and say I'm really disappointed with the fans today. Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse. I was definitely screaming and yelling as much as I could since our fans were just sitting there silently. There were some there, but no one was saying a word. So just really disappointed to see that our fans just weren't excited about anything going on in the game at all. So that was really, really frustrating. And then just our defense as well just didn't show up well today. I'm a really big Brian Burns fan, and he just hasn't been playing as aggressive as I'd like to see him play as he has been prior. So just want to get on here and say that. Would really, really love to see more fans for the Carolina Panthers, more ride or die fans. You know, we were there for Thursday Night Football in the rain and cold to celebrate us getting married back in November. So, you know, it's like, and we drive 5.5 hours to get to these games. So, you know, we're really big Carolina Panthers fans. For people not to show up and basically have a takeover of Panthers fans, or I'm sorry, Steelers fans is extremely frustrating. So we'd love to see more people show up to the games, have some more excitement about the team. I know we're not doing well, but, you know, we got to support our team. We got to be ride or die. If we're not, then you need to find a different team. That's it. Bye, guys.
Blair Bear. I like it.
That's the call of the night.
Yeah,
that's
I
the
like
call
it.
of the night. That takes
Yeah.
over for Pickle.
She was fantastic.
Right there.
Yeah.
She's right. Is you know, and that is kind of what we're trying to do up here is build the fan base up into one of those that can weather these moments like this. Bank of America has always, because they instituted those the PSL system, the first team, I believe, to ever do that, has made the Bank of America experience, especially corporate, you know, for the beginning, you know, is like, because a lot of businesses buy PSLs and give the tickets away to people that are, you know, they rubbing elbows with. There's always been a sort of maybe gentility to the Panther fan base, like that Southern, like it's sanitary a little bit sometimes when you're like, you're worried that the person behind you is going to get mad that you're standing up on third down.
F that, I paid for that ticket.
I tell them to
I know.
Yeah, I paid for that ticket. Yeah,
I know,
they
but
kiss
like,
my ass.
is
I paid for
that
that ticket.
what it's gonna is that we're talking about creating the goal one day is for Bank of America or whatever stadium we play in that day to be one of those intimidating environments for an opposing team. And we don't have to beat people up like they do in Philadelphia to do that.
Right.
You know, but that's what we're hoping for one day, that we are the legacy team like the Steelers are. And we have to build a legacy on success. There's got to be some history to your team of success. And that's why, you know, like these kids that grew up as Steeler fans when when they're winning Super Bowls, that's what they become, those fans that can never, ever cheer for another team, you know, and like that's how you generate that. So at some point, we're going to have to hoist the Lombardi. At some point, we're going to have to put together some back-to-back winning seasons. At some point, we're going to have to create our own history. And I think there's some good moments there for us to look back on, but I don't know if we've had the success yet to really cultivate that. But hey, we'll be here for it either way.
We were almost there, man. It felt like we were almost there a few years ago, didn't it?
I know.
We were.
And that also, I think 2015 taught me more than anything is that those moments are much harder than we give. We see other teams get there a lot. You know, we felt like because Brady and them got there with the Patriots every other year or whatever it was, it felt like that it's easy to replicate that success, but it's really not, even when you are really good. And we were there. We were there. We missed it.
We still haven't had back-to-back winning seasons, man. Not once. Like,
it's pretty insane. And it's
we gotta
hard
get there.
We got to get loud. We got to, we've got to come up with some cheers. That's what we got to do. I think that's the next thing we're doing for the C3 Panthers podcast. We got to come up with some sort of institutionalized cheer other than keep pounding. Not abandon it, but a tradition. We got to build some traditions.
Yeah.
as fans is that now let's not go jumping on tables, but we got to find our niche. What is it that Panther fans do? Like, do we?
Let's throw tobacco leaves on the field.
Tobacco. That's too. That's
Tobacco
old
leaves on the
school.
field, you know.
I don't know. I think we got to come up with the protect the bank, the vault, something like that. I don't know. We're gonna have to create some traditions. We need some new heroes too. That's what we need.
Rolls of dimes.
We need some new heroes. We need some new.
Make it hail, baby. Yeah.
The rows of dimes. Did y'all see in that game of the day they were throwing snowballs at players like in
That
the
was
game?
incredible.
It's like holy crap! Can you imagine going in for a pass and getting hit with a snowball right when you go up for the pass to catch it?
That's
It'd be
hilarious.
crazy.
I wish it would have happened.
All right,
I don't know.
those are all the calls. So we can go ahead and then we'll get the towel of shame.
Well,
and the dab on.
obviously I was upset at the game today, but I feel like this post-game therapy did me some good. I'm not really even upset anymore, man. It's like we know that this team is not going to contend for the Super Bowl. The only hope that we have for this season is the hope that we've had for a few weeks now. The NFC South is bad. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are about to lose to the Cincinnati Bengals. That's what we needed to happen. Everything that we needed to happen today in the division happened.
Except
for
us.
the Panthers.
But it's
except
okay.
for the Panthers getting the W. So
yeah,
we woke up this morning in the same place we're in now. Yep.
Hey guys, by the way, just to keep in mind, the Buccaneers didn't just lose this game. They were up 17-0 as well.
And they haven't scored since.
And they have had 27 unanswered points against them. So if you want to compare the decimation of a team, I would say just look at what's going on with Tampa, and I say we have a lot more bright future than what they have right now.
Yeah. We're the most deserving team of the NFC South. If there is a deserving team, it looks like we're the most deserving team because Tampa Bay looks like garbage, but New Orleans and Atlanta do too. Like they look like hot garbage on fire. We're just garbage. They're on fire. It's crazy.
All right. That's the C3 Panthers post-game show. We still got to rock up with some dab on the picks and some towel of shame. But before we do that, we got to go down under to Australia, Cody.
Yeah, man. Spectral. I'm pretty sure I messed up. See, I know CK knows how to say his name. But,
Spectre One Actual?
Spectre One Actual.
Yeah, with the $10 love bomb says Codizzle Allen's the GOAT. Oh, shit.
Yes.
You are
He does
indeed
have
the GOAT.
he does have the golden pipes, guys. Don't forget you can be supporters of the show by smashing the thumbs up button, subscribing, checking us out on any podcast catcher that you hang out on, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher. Don't forget there's opportunity too to become a C3 super fan where you can support the show with a small monthly contribution that we help reinvest into this show and building that fan base. You get some cool emojis and some things like that. We appreciate all the people who donated tonight, all the people that are here listening to this therapy session. And we accept Blue Cross. Actually, we don't accept any insurance. The only assurance that we don't accept insurance. We accept assurance, and assure us that you're going to come back and hang out with us next week and next year and tomorrow or wherever else we're doing some content. Cody Lack, let's whatever, surprise me. Where do you want to go first on our last segment of the post-game show?
Ooh, surprise.
I just like doing it, man. Dab on them folks. Dab on them folks. And that dab on them folks. They like seeing it. Tell me what to do. Dab on them folks.
Dab on them picks. I'm going to go first. There's only one person that I want to pick for the dab on him. And it's Sam Darnold. Yeah, I see you in the twat. And the chat talking bullshit, twat. But Sam Darnold did not lose this game today. Sam Darnold played one of the best games I've seen him play under pressure. He was really good on third down. He was the right spot over the football. Like, look, even though it was a losing performance today, it was not on Sam Darnold. It just wasn't. And I think that he continues to get better and better. So I am going to use my dab on a pick on Sam Darnold. Dab on them, folks, Sam. You deserve it.
That's right
real
there.
quick, let me just get this out the way.
This is about to be my dab on him pick right here, Karen Choi.
From the lovely Karen Choi. She says, I support with money.
I appreciate
She's
it.
my dab on him pick.
You're the best.
Yeah. I'll go. Let me just say, I'll dab on the Steelers run defense. Our biggest thing coming into this game was that we were running football team. We talked last week about having a 3-headed monster, about how this is going to carry us into the Super Bowl and into the playoffs, and they shut us down. So I hate to give it to the team, but I got to dab on the Steelers run defense.
All right. And by the way, another person we need to dab on, Michael Davis. Because he's the best, like he always is, with the $35. Says just glad to be here. Merry Christmas, C3 family. Also, I'll hire you, Codizzle, if Tony tries to fire you.
I appreciate it.
Hey, you already have a backup
I like
job.
I love it. I love it. Unemployment insurance right there from the patrons.
Appreciate you, Michael.
Go ahead, CK.
My dab on him. This is such a hard one to have to do. I don't know. After Sam Darnold, Terrace Marshall Jr. I'm gonna throw it out to him, man. Terrace had a great game today. I know it was only a couple of receptions, but they were big time receptions, and the dude is one of the only receivers in the NFL that has the go route like that on more than 50% of the routes that he runs. So I just want to give him some dab on him.
I'm with you. CK is like, this is one of those ones that I don't think anybody deserves a dab on them pick and on the whole team.
Yeah.
And I think like even for Sam Darnold, just saying that you didn't blow it is the way you get it. But I'm gonna give you a strange one too, because you know what is like we got to make the picks. We could have first. I'm gonna dab on Michael, Kieran, Spectre One Actual, all the people that support the show, all the people that have been here tonight in the conversation. So dab on you guys. My dab on him though, this is for Cody. I'm gonna dab on Shi Smith. Shi Smith called a late fair catch today, and it looked like he could have fumbled it, like he didn't have a good bead on it. And I was like, oh God, please come up with this football. And he caught it. And then he had this one big catch too for a first down, and he got popped. I mean, just absolutely rocked. And he held on
Still
to
caught
it.
it, didn't he?
He held on to it. So I say this, my dab on him today was Shy, held on to the ball. And some moments that were like, oh shit, this is about to be so good. Dab on him, Shy.
Dab on him, Shi Smith. All right. So by order of elimination, that means you know what's next.
The Towel of Shame segment where we pick our player or our issue or our fault with the team, and this is where we throw that towel of shame on them. When it comes to this, there's probably a laundry list of people that you could be upset with. It's so bad, and when it's collective like this too, it's hard to identify an individual when it's collective, right? And I know who some of you guys are going to throw out there. There's one individual that's already been beaten a lot on this show. I'm going to beat up, though, the thing that we've been celebrating. I'm throwing the towel on what we've been celebrating for the last couple of weeks. And that's this offensive line today for the Carolina Panthers, is that we got our man Bradley Bozeman making pancake videos. We're all hype. We're all a little nervous that Moten is falling apart a little bit or starting to slow down, where he wasn't always the fastest dude off the kick step in the first place. But, you know, this offensive line just got bullied. And somebody in there was like, oh, they're a good run blocking offensive line against bad teams. They didn't do anything good today. And it wasn't one single player either. It was a collective failure. So my towel of shame goes on the offensive line, which I thought was going to really be the thing that this team ran towards the NFC South championship behind. And today they couldn't run at all.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm gonna go first, and I'm just gonna take the low hanging fruit. There's a popular name that I wanted to say, but no, I'm gonna give it to the person that deserves it the most. Keith Taylor. What in the fuck are you doing, bruh? You are getting destroyed out there. Every time that we needed you to make a play, you got absolutely embarrassed, man. Once upon a time, you thought that we had people thinking that if CJ, that you would be the guy that come in and be better than him. And dude, that did not happen. You were one of the weakest links on a very weak defense today. And yeah, I think a lot of his plays lost us the game. Not saying it's all on him, but he damn sure had a big piece of the pie. So, Keith Taylor Jr., ice up, son.
Ice up or towel shame? Both work.
Both. Next.
Yeah, both work.
Whatever. What
CK,
I say?
you want this? You want me?
Yeah, I'm already zoned out. I
It's
don't even know
okay.
what the fuck I
It's
said.
okay. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. It's all the same meaning.
Yeah.
Listen, in the interest of being 100% fair to the situation, I've got to ice up Steve Wilkes. The one thing that you're going to be hired as a defensive head coach is to take pride in stopping these offenses from doing the things that this offense was able to do. 13 for 15 on the on third downs are unacceptable on any level of any game whatsoever. But in a professional level, to have that high of a success rate for third down conversions as with an offense like this is just unacceptable. You have to take the towel of shame, Steve Wilkes.
Good one. You know what? I'm going to go like CK here. I'm going to go with just for the simple fact of, and because I got to be fair, for the entire up until the 2 weeks ago, I called Brian Burns the king of almost. Then I jumped on the bandwagon of this is the guy. We need to pay him. And I really thought he was going to be that guy. But since I've done that in 2 weeks, he's been very, very pedestrian in the game. And, I gotta put the towel of shame on Brian Burns. Like, I expected a lot more of you. I've been arguing for you to be paid as a top 5 defensive end in the NFL. After the last 2 games, it's hard for me to make that argument. It really is. I can excuse 1 game, but 2 games in a row with absolutely nothing. That's tough, man. That's tough for me to defend you. So Brian Burns, towel of shame.
Well, man, that was, to be honest, this show today was a little bit less intense than I expected my reactions of fans to be. I think this was, if I was going to describe the temperature of this show to someone later on, even about the calls, I think it was sobering.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a little reality mixed with disappointment.
Dude, so I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you. New England 24-24 against Las Vegas. New England does this one play. It's a screen pass. They run up and they're doing a couple of laterals. One of the laterals gets intercepted and run back for a touchdown. Game over. Las Vegas.
Chandler Jones ran back for a touchdown.
Holy shit, man.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
Shit.
That is fucking incredible.
Yeah. Hey, can I help reset us, Tony? Look, we're at the end of the show. We're about to get out of here. Look, we knew that this team had some flaws, but I would say let's not get too down on ourselves.
No,
Detroit barely won today. We have to play them again at home, so it's going to be our final home game of the year. We really are going to have to put up a good performance, and everything is still out in front of us, man. Tampa lost today. Atlanta lost today.
You really got to see this play, Cody. Have you not seen it?
It's crazy.
Yeah, the Chandler Jones.
Are you talking about the lateral one that I was talking about?
The lateral.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I saw the whole
That's
thing.
like the worst. First, lateral plays never work. You
One's
know,
out of
like,
100
have you
times they do.
ever
Yeah.
seen one really work? There's probably like one out there that's worked. They do it. It's like usually like, oh, game over. And this game over got gamed over.
Yeah, because it would have gone to overtime.
That's like the
Otherwise,
worst possible outcome. It's like, oh my God. Oh,
That's the
all right,
stuff
yeah.
I was talking about Minnesota and things falling their way, and Las Vegas and things not falling their way. That's a thing where it fell their way for Las Vegas right there.
We didn't have it fall our way today, but we got outplayed, we got beat, but we'll be here next week. And I think Cody's right. Is like, first, I'm not all out on anything. I just really was hoping today was gonna just generate some. Man, if we would have won today, dude, I would have almost been intolerable as a fan going forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like my hope would have just rocketed today, even if we won by 1 point. Man, like this, we doing it. We getting it. We gonna get there. We'll make some noise. That's it. My name's Tony Dunn, C3 Panthers Podcast. We're here after every game. We're here Tuesday night live, 9 p.m. You can catch us wherever you get your podcast. We've got Saturday Madden simulations. We've got the Friday free for all. We've got the Wednesday beat check, and I think we're even going to bring you back a debate my take this Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday. So we're rocking and rolling with the content. We'll be back. The Panthers will keep pounding. We'll keep pounding. Cody Lashney, tell them whatever you need to tell them to do. You guys give your outros and let's go.
Yeah, man. Look, find me on Twitter at Cody Lack, CODYLAC. Every Friday at 7 p.m., we do the Friday free for all, the show for the fans, by the fans, where you can come and be a part of the show. And content on drafttech.com, where I am the analyst for the Carolina Panthers. So that's it, baby. Hey, heads up. We're not going to get down on ourselves. We're not done. Keep pounding. CK.
Yeah, I'm gonna, listen, I want to let you guys know you can follow me on Twitter, but I also want to say thank you for everybody who still shows up in the midst of, disappointment. These therapy sessions, as we call them, have been more than therapeutic, more than needed in a lot of these games this year. But I tell you what, we are in a weird division in the NFL right now, so there is still some hope. But there's also some concerns. So we hopefully will come out here and be a different team next week. So look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's it. Greg, talk to him.
You can find me at the BatDaddy52 on Twitter is my personal handle. I don't check it out that often, but I do try to get in there every once in a while. Or check me out Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube at the Geeks Chasing Squirrels Across the Multiverse podcast. I will say this week we're not going to have a show. One, because it's close to Christmas, and two, I am going into the knife on Friday. Next time you'll see me, I have a nice set of C cups here. So, but no,
nice.
I
now
really
am
going to the
going
knife.
to get some subscribers. We talked about earlier. He said the boy toy. Now you're really making it complicated.
Right?
Yeah, I know, right?
But no, I really am going to go to the knife. So I don't know if I'm going to feel up to the show on Friday. So we're going to take a break. But coming back the following week, we're going to do a end of year review. We're going to be talking about the shows we've been covering, plus the best stuff of the year, the worst stuff of the year, as far as books, comics, and television shows go. Movies and television shows go. So, and probably become an Avatar too if you haven't seen it. So
I have not. Yeah, I'm intimidated by how long it is, bro.
But I've heard it's fantastic,
dude. I've heard that it doesn't even feel like it's that long.
Yeah, it's getting great reviews. So 3.5 hours, 3 hours is not bad if you like what you're seeing. So I'm just saying.
It feels like a super long. All right, let's get out of here, Cody.
C3 Panthers. Until next time, you already know what we do. Keep pounding.